story begins with the fact that the student's name was Woo Lingan, and he was a fat man who did not know how to refuse people and was always teased by his students. But this is what made Woo Lingan study hard so that his friends would stop bullying him, and he would try his best all the time. Woo Lingan believed that after going to work, people would evaluate him based on his skills and not say that he was an overweight guy and an idiot. However, after all his efforts, Woo Lingan realized that he was not just fat, but also stupid, and he could not come to terms with this fact. After graduation, Woo Lingan was only able to get a job at a fitness club where he worked as a sparring partner, relying on his build. Woo Lingan noticed an advertisement from the Lujiazi Xieshen Fitness Center, and they really needed a sparring partner weighing more than 100 kilograms. But Woo Lingan again returned to where he started, and all the fighters beat him and asked him to at least try to do something because he is very weak. Lingan cried and started to get hysterical, and he couldn't understand why everyone was making fun of him, and he was tired of living like this and everyone was tired of him. But at that moment, someone approached Woo Lingan and grabbed him by the shoulder, and the man wanted to say something to the student and ask him for help there. It was Supervisor Murang Chan, and he asked Woo Lingan to help him with this month's report because no one else could do it better than him. Murang Chan stood in front of the student, and Woo Lingan said that he was not a smart guy but just a sparring partner, and it would be difficult for him to do everything. Woo Lingan listened to Supervisor Murang Chan's words and wondered why he had to do so many things and couldn't rest himself. Supervisor Murang Chan showed Woo Lingan his muscles and biceps and realized that he had pumped up his body and could defeat any guy. And then suddenly Supervisor Murang Chan asked Woo Lingan what he was muttering, and he didn't hear his words and let him repeat it right away. Woo Lingan saw the power of Murang Chan and told his friend that he said that he would make a report and the friend need not worry and he is happy to help today. And at that very second, someone called Woo Lingan again, and he is not waiting for anyone. And who else should he help, and he hasn't had time to make reports yet? All the people stood in front of Woo Lingan and asked him to make a schedule for them and at the same time assign employees for the next week as quickly as possible. Woo Lingan thought that all the people are so arrogant, and he wants to beat them all up, and how dare they approach him, and he has so much to do now. But Woo Lingan was afraid to argue with people and smiled in their faces, and immediately said that he would do everything 100%, and he would not disappoint everyone. And at midnight, Woo Lingan came home, and he was very tired that day, and he didn't rest for a minute, and he had to do all these reports. Woo Lingan sat at the computer and couldn't understand why he didn't refuse all these people because they wouldn't even raise his salary. And then Woo Lingan froze in place and could not understand why his heart hurt, and he had never experienced such pain. And what was the reason for this? Woo Lingan remembered his father's words that he needed to lose weight, or else he wouldn't die for long, and wondered if he was going to die now, and that scared him. Woo Lingan started reaching for the phone and decided that he urgently needed to call an ambulance without delay, and they could help him there. But Woo Lingan could not get through to the ambulance, and he received a message that his phone was disconnected for non-payment and that he should top up his account. Woo Lingan realized that it looked like he would go to the other world now, and how could he expect this? After all, everything was fine with him, and he was so energetic. But Woo Lingan was serious and decided that at least he was obliged to change something before his death, and he would do it. And that's true. Woo Lingan wanted to send a file and decided that he no longer wanted to be a disgusting fat man, and all his life all people humiliated him for having such a body. Woo Lingan was very pleased and thought that now he could safely go to the next world, and it's good that he managed to do what he had in mind. Woo Lingan thought that if he has a next life, he will never become a disgusting fat man and will train, and this is the goal. The student went into the folder and sent Supervisor Murang Chan another file, and he had long wanted to do this to him because he deserved it all. Supervisor Murang Chan noticed that he had received a new message and wondered if Woo Lingan had prepared an important report so quickly. Supervisor Murang Chan decided to immediately look at the report and present it to all the people, and he is sure that Woo Lingan tried to make it cool. And at that moment, all the people were in complete shock because it was a different file. And Supervisor Murang Chan was ashamed and would be fired for the video. After a while, Woo Lingan sharply opened his eyes and he thought that he would no longer be able to feel such feelings because he died. And what just happened? Lingan was a baby and wondered if he had been reborn. And there, all the people congratulated the mentor and said that a boy was born. Then 2,000 years passed and people had a great time there in the Juzhou continent in the eastern region, and their life was moderate. The girl hugged her hand and told brother Woo Lingan that he should listen to her, and she wanted to ask him something, and this was all very important. Tushen Xiaoyu from the Fox Demon clan told Woo Lingan that he told her to go on a journey to the outside world before Woo Lingan told Tushan Xiaoyu that he didn't notice how he spent 20,000 years training in this place in the mountains, and it's so cool. The heir of the Shu family, Woo Lingan, told Tushan Xiaoyu that he is still an ordinary person with great strength, and if he goes down there will be problems. Tushan Xiaoyu was at a loss, and could no longer understand what other ordinary person could lift an entire mountain, and it was all very strange. Woo Lingan lifted the mountain 10,000 times and realized that that's enough for today. And tomorrow he will continue to train and improve his strength skills. Woo Lingan thought that he had really been reborn, and moreover, he had become the heir of the demon clan, and he could not dream of such a thing in the past. Woo Lingan realized that, however, the fallen demon clan could not protect him, and in order to avoid persecution, he is hiding in the mountains these days. Woo Lingan stroked Tushan Xiaoyu's hair and said that he had finished the training and now they could go back, and he would give her time. Tushan Xiaoyu agreed with him, and Woo Lingan thought that if it weren't for the fox that he once saved, he would have long ago gone crazy from boredom there. Woo Lingan remembered how he fought monsters in this world, and they could not catch up with him because he pumped up his cardio, and he is very strong. Because of the lessons of his past life and the experience of constant persecution in this life for 2,000 years, Woo Lingan trains his body. And then Woo Lingan and Tushan Xiaoyu stopped walking and realized that there was someone in front of them and they had to cope with the problem and go theirs. However, over time, Woo Lingan already realized that he was in one of the 3 fantasy worlds, and a huge and evil monster appeared in front of him. Lingan realized that in this world, he did not have any magical or other abilities, and it was a pity that no one gave him such skills there. Woo Lingan understands that he has nothing but a trained body, and he must give his best to defeat the monsters. Woo Lingan swung and realized that he had no cultivation, and he wanted him to have skills like in the game, but he was unlucky. But this is better. And at that very second, Woo Lingan hit the monster with all his might and realized that he only had muscles, but that was enough for him, and he believed in his success there. The huge monster fell to the ground and stopped attacking the guy, and Woo Lingan knows that his blow can knock out any type. Woo Lingan exhaled and he didn't tense up and thought that the monster was stronger. But on the one hand, it's good that he didn't waste his energy on the fight. Woo Lingan pointed his finger at the snake and told Tushan Xiaoyu that lunch for today is ready and they don't have to worry about the dish with her today. Tushan Xiaoyu listened to Woo Lingan's words and nodded her head, and is glad that her brother is protecting her from dangerous monsters and he is the strongest. Birds were flying in the sky, and Tushan Xiaoyu was convinced that she and her best friend Woo Lingan were not in danger, and they would relax with him. Tushan Xiaoyu was pleased and realized that the golden dragon snake was in the stage of forming a core, and the cool Woo Lingan demolished it with one blow. Tushan Xiaoyu looked at Woo Lingan and realized that he was incredible. But then someone told them that the two of them were impudent scoundrels and he was furious. A guy appeared in front of them and asked both impudent people how they dare to take away the prey that he had hunted so much, and this is a fact. It was the trainee mentor of the Xuantian Academy, Xiao Chunhuo, and he said that those who did this could already be from the demonic clan. Woo Lingan did not want to conflict, and he will now try to clearly explain everything to the trainee mentor, Xiao Chunho, so that he will immediately understand. Woo Lingan told Xiao Chunho that it was not him, and thought that there was no point in arguing with him, and he really didn't want to sort things out for the monster. Woo Lingan told Xiao Chunhuo that he did not want this, and his brother should understand him because he had no other intentions, and the monster attacked him. Woo Lingan told mentor Xiao Chunho that he was confusing something. And then he wondered why he was saying that and making excuses to the guy there. And then Woo Lingan bowed to Xiao Chunho and said that he was sorry, and he didn't mean it, and didn't know what came over him at that moment. Trainee mentor of the Xuantian Academy. Xiao Chunho realized that there was only one spirit fox and an ordinary person without magical roots. Academy mentor Xiao Chunho told Woo Lingan that there was no point in him communicating and he didn't want to hear his excuses and it was so stupid. And at that same second, Xiao Chunho threw his sword towards Woo Lingan and he told the guy that he would die for his insolence and he was doomed now. But Woo Lingan left mentor Xiao Chunho's sword with his hand without any problems and realized that it looked like it was an attack and he didn't even strain in defense. Xuantian Academy mentor Xiao Chunho fell to the ground and froze in surprise because he thought that he could punish the insolent. Xiao Chunhuo couldn't understand how Woo Lingan could easily defend himself from his sword, and it wasn't difficult for the guy at all, and he looks like he's extremely strong. Woo Lingan bowed to Xiao Chunhuo again and asked for forgiveness because, knowing that he wanted to kill him, he still caught the flying sword now. Tushan Xiaoyu looked at Woo Lingan's actions and didn't know what he was up to and why brother was acting so strangely and asking for forgiveness. The mentor of the Xuanqian Academy, Xiao Chunhuo, listened to the words of Woo Lingan. The guy realized that even in their world of immortals, he could not refuse. Xiao Chunhuo thought that this could not be, and how an ordinary person without magical skills was able to catch his sword, and it struck him immediately. Xiao Chunhuo pointed his finger at Tushan Xiaoyu and said that this little fox must be helping the guy, and that's why he is so strong. Tushan Xiaoyu listened to Xiao Chunhuo's words and told him that if she hits him, he will die immediately, and she is not joking, and it is better not to anger her. Xuantian Academy's mentor Xiao Chunhuo smiled, and he didn't believe Tushan Xiaoyu's words and thought that her friend was just lucky now. And at that moment, Xiao Chunhuo threw all the swords at Tushan Xiaoyu, and he told her that this was an impudent statement and she would go to hell like her friend. But Woo Lingan easily grabbed all of Xiao Chunhuo's swords again, and he didn't understand why this man always throws swords at him and pisses him off there. Xuantian Academy mentor Xiao Chunhuo fell to the ground and realized that he was mistaken. And the guy is really strong, and this is definitely not an accident. Xiao Chunhuo couldn't believe that the guy had defended himself against all his attacks again, and he couldn't attack him anymore, and it was so useless. Woo Lingan bowed to Xiao Chunhuo again and said that he could go to the next world if he wanted, but let him not touch Tushan Xiaoyu. Tushan Xiaoyu was delighted and realized that brother Woo Lingan again repelled the stranger's attack, and he was incredible. And how did he do it? But Xiao Chunhuo called Woo Lingan an idiot and said that he did not believe that the guy could repel all his swords and continued to attack him. But Woo Lingan was very calm and thought that it seemed that the stranger could not admit that he could not harm him with all his attacks. And at that moment, Woo Lingan repelled all the attacks of Xiao Chunhuo and thought that he fought with monsters, and therefore he was not afraid of all the attacks of the master. But Woo Lingan asked for forgiveness from Xiao Chunhuo, and without realizing it, he caught all his swords there and he could not harm him even if he wanted. Tushan Xiaoyu was happy and told brother Woo Lingan that no one can compare with him, and he is the best, and she is glad that he is her friend. Xiao Chunhuo's mentor was lying on the ground and realized that he might not attack the guy there, and he still didn't feel anything and was so powerful. Mentor Xiao Chunhuo began to get up and realized that it was better not to fight with such fighters, and Woo Lingan could easily defeat him in a minute. And then Xiao Chunhuo became polite and told Woo Lingan that it turned out that the guy was not simple and he was the eldest of the Alliance of the Righteous, and it was his mistake. Xiao Chunhuo asked Master Lingan to return his sword, and he would immediately leave from there and no longer bother him because he was walking with his girlfriend in the forest. But Woo Lingan threw the sword and it almost touched Xiao Chunhuo, and the guy wanted to scare him and teach him a lesson for his impudence because he attacked Sister too. The sword touched the tree behind Xiao Chunhuo, and there was an explosion, and the mentor already realized that he was very lucky that Woo Lingan didn't hit him there. Woo Lingan continued to throw swords, and the throw was so strong that the roar of explosions was heard everywhere, and the mentor was afraid of the guy's rage. Woo Lingan told mentor Xiao Chunhuo that of course he would return all the swords to him and he was glad to see him and let him now know who he is. Mentor Xiao Chunhuo froze in place with fear and realized that he should not have attacked the stranger, and now he remembered him for the rest of his life. Woo Lingan tore the clothes of mentor Xiao Chunhuo with a precise throw of the sword and no longer wanted to conflict with him and thinks that this was enough. Woo Lingan suggested that Tushan Xiaoyu go home and need to prepare dinner for his father and others, and the fox immediately agreed with his brother and went. But Tushan Xiaoyu stopped and told Xiao Chunhuo that she had to tell him something and let him listen to her and not be distracted, and this is important. Tushan Xiaoyu looked angrily at Xiao Chunhuo and said that he should not tell anyone about what happened. Otherwise, he would regret it. The academy's mentor, Xiao Chunhuo, was very polite and told Tushan Xiaoyu that he understood her and remembered her words well for the rest of his life. Woo Lingan asked Tushan Xiaoyu to go quickly. Otherwise, they will not have time to prepare dinner in the evening, and their father may scold them for this, and this is a fact. Tushan Xiaoyu listened to her brother and told Woo Lingan that she was coming, and just finally warned the person about the danger in the future. Woo Lingan took the monster with him and thought that now he has no problems and he can calmly go home with his sister Tushan. Mentor Xiao Chunhuo was in complete shock and could not understand who these fighters were, and he miraculously survived, and he had never seen such strength and power. But mentor Xiao Chunhuo did not lose heart and thought that they should rejoice while there is a chance, and soon his time will come and he will immediately punish both. Mentor Xiao Chunhuo decided that he should immediately report this story to the elder of Xuantian Academy. and he would take action against the insolent people. Xiao Chunho's mentor was delighted, and then the troublemakers will pay for what they did to him, and he will remind them that he is also a strong fighter. Tushan Xiaoyu told brother Woo Lingan that he was able to defeat a cultivator at the Yuanying stage, and he still calls himself an ordinary person. Woo Lingan asked Tushan Xiaoyu how he could be a rival to the cool and immortal, and Xiao Chunhuo must be making fun of him. But Tushan Xiaoyu told Woo Lingan that mentor Xiao Chunhuo clearly wanted to kill him. And didn't he still understand this? And this is strange. Woo Lingan told Tushan Xiaoyu that he perfectly understands that he is an ordinary person without magical roots and therefore trains hard. Tushan Xiaoyu was surprised and asked Woo Lingan if he had to train even during a simple walk, and this is absurd. Tushan Xiaoyu thought that although brother Woo Lingan is stupid, he is cute, and she can't take her eyes off him, and it's good that he is next to her. Woo Lingan and Tushan Xiaoyu continued on their way and almost came home, and the guy knows that he must always maintain his shape and skills. Woo Lingan told his family in the cave that he comes, and they are always worried when he disappears for a long time in the mountains and forest, and he loves his whole family. Inside this cave are the 10 most brutal members of the demonic sect, and they can punish any creature for intruding into their home. Members of the demonic sect began to come out to the guest, and they should quickly make sure that this is not an enemy, and then they can calm down with the whole family. And then monsters appeared and asked who dared to enter there. And didn't they know that this was the territory of a demonic sect, and anyone would be punished? But Woo Lingan smiled sweetly at the family members and said that he had brought them a snake for lunch, and they could have lunch, and then they would rest and calm down. And at that very second, all the monsters became kind and sweet, and said that this was their Woo Lingan, and they were waiting for him and were glad that he visited them there today. The monsters told Woo Lingan that, how does this dinner look delicious and so appetizing, and they want to quickly taste it, and this is their feast. Woo Lingan thought that although all these creatures do not look like good people, they are actually uncles, and they are very kind to him, and he appreciates it. The head of the demonic clan and Woo Lingan's father named Woo Di approached his son and wanted to ask about important things because the family was worried about him. Woo Di told his son that he had been gone for 3 whole hours and asked if he respected his father and why he made him worry about him. And this was not good. Woo Lingan told his father that because of hunting and cooking he was a little late, and he thought how stubborn his father is and he always scolds him. Woo Di asked Woo Lingan if he really spent so much time preparing food, and should he not think that if his father is sealed, then he knows nothing about the world. Woo Di told Woo Lingan that he again allowed this girl to persuade him to immediately come down from the mountains and why he doesn't have his own opinion, and this is strange. But Woo Lingan told his father that this is not the case, and he himself made this decision, and does not understand why his father is angry, and he may not think about it now. But Woo Di was categorical and told his son that he absolutely must not go down the mountain, and there is a reason for this, and let him not misunderstand him. Woo Lingan was very surprised and wanted to hear an explanation from his father, and why he so categorically forbids him to leave the mountain, and he wants to know this. Woo Di said that even after being sealed for 20,000 years, he still remembers the deceit of those called righteous, and it was bad. Woo Di told his son that he, having no experience in the world of martial arts, was already coming out of solitude, and maybe he thought that he could handle everything alone. Woo Lingan listened to his father and asked for his forgiveness, and his father asked if he wanted his father with gray hair to bury him in the future. But Woo Lingan was dissatisfied and wanted to express his opinion to his father's face, and he must understand his son's thoughts, and then they will find a compromise on the issue. Woo Lingan told his father that he had been hearing the same thing every time for 2,000 years, and he was tired of his father always reminding him of the danger. Woo Di was surprised by his son's words and did not expect that Woo Lingan would argue with him like that, and he has changed so much during this time, and his character scares his father. Woo Lingan told his father that even if he was pursued down there, wounded or killed, he didn't care, and he no longer wanted to stay in the wilderness. Relatives told Woo Lingan that he was too naive, and for 2,000 years he was stuck there at the stage of body training and did not develop, and this is so stupid. The monsters told Woo Lingan that if he left now, it would be a death sentence, and he was the only heir of the Woo family and should be with his family there. Lingan's relatives told him that they couldn't let him die, and they were worried about him and wanted him to understand this and listen to his father. Tuzhen Xiaoyu told Woo Lingan's relatives that they had recently met a righteous cultivator along the way, and she would remember the person for a long time. All of Woo Lingan's relatives listened to Tushan Xiaoyu's words and did not believe their ears in what she just told them, and let her explain the information to everyone. Tushan Xiaoyu said that that cultivator was at the Yuanying stage, but this did not help him. and Woo Lingan defeated him with one blow, and this is true. Woo Lingan was modest and told his family that he was simply stronger and defeated the cultivator. And his girlfriend embellished his skills, and she was simply a miracle. Woody couldn't understand why the righteous cultivator was there, and whether his son was strong enough to defeat such a thing, and he didn't know about it. But Woody told Woo Lingan that even if so, he is still an ordinary person without magical roots, and he definitely has nothing to do in the outside world. Woody told Woo Lingan that even if he reached the Yuanying level, how would he himself fight even stronger enemies, and this is very dangerous. The father asked Woo Lingan not to think that, by accidentally defeating one righteous cultivator, he became invincible, and these are his fantasies and dreams. But Woo Lingan asked his father why he talks about his invincibility and he doesn't even have such an interest, and his father made up the premises. Woo Lingan said that only after reaching the dojo stage can he immediately destroy the cage and save them. But in the mountains it is difficult for him to train. Woody was furious and asked all the people to tell him who told the guy about this, and he wants to know everything. Otherwise, he will torture everyone and he is serious. But all the relatives told Woo Di that they were not to blame and didn't know anything. And maybe Woo Lingan himself found out about everything, because he is a smart and kind guy. Woo Lingan thought that over the past 2,000 years his father, being sealed, did everything to protect him, and he would remember everything and never forget. But Woo Lingan told his father that now he has grown up and now it's his turn to protect them, and let him not be nervous and everything will be fine with his family. Tushan Xiaoyu told her friends that they seem to have forgotten one thing, and because Woo Lingan is at the training stage, he has one nuance. Tushan Xiaoyu said that Woo Lingan does not have a demonic aura, and all righteous cultivators do not recognize him as a demon, and these are facts. All the relatives listened to Tushan Xiaoyu's words, and said that she said the right thing and thinks sensibly, and no one will know about Woo Lingan's truth there. But Woo Di said that it's still impossible, and if Woo Lingan accidentally releases demonic energy during a breakthrough, he's doomed, and he's not joking. But Woo Lingan told his father that his decision was final, and he would never change it even if he did not agree. And then he would understand his son. Woo Di realized that he could not convince Woo Lingan, but he could help him, and he believed that his son could save his friends from imprisonment. Woo Di asked his son to stand, and he wants to tell him something important, and let him not leave, and his father's advice can help on the journey, and the father is experienced. And then the father threw something at Lingan and thought that his son needed it more, and he was risking his health and his family would not forget it. Woo Lingan and Tushan Xiaoyu looked at this thing and didn't know what it was and why Woo Di gave it to his son, and maybe the father himself will clearly explain everything. Woo Lingan asked his father what it is, and he wants to find out information to use this thing, otherwise he definitely won't be able to guess it himself. Woo Di said that this is his document to participate in the exam at Zhuantan Academy, and he insists on descending from the mountain, so let him start with this. The family was shocked and they know about Zhuantan Academy, and this is the famous first academy of righteous path cultivators in the world. The family heard that everyone said that every graduate from their academy at least reaches the core formation stage, and Woo Lingan is lucky. Tushan Xiaoyu told Woo Di that this is a stronghold of cultivators, and wouldn't Woo Lingan be in danger there because they avoid all the righteous? Woo Di told Tushan Xiaoyu that the most dangerous place is probably the safest, and they all will not think that the demon himself will come to them. Woo Di said that there are still many cultivation paths in Zhuantan Academy, and this is the best chance to find a method suitable for Woo Lingan, and he understood. And after a while, Woo Lingan began to pack his things to leave, and he doesn't want to sit in one place and needs to experience the world, and this is intriguing. Woo Lingan packed a lot of things for the trip and said that he was going to Zhuantan Academy today and would be successful and would soon return to his family. Tushan Xiaoyu was amazed and told Woo Lingan that this is really his style, and he has collected so many things and will train there. Tushan Xiaoyu was very interested, and she asked Mr. Woo Di how he was able to obtain such a rare document while in captivity. Woo Di told Tushan Xiaoyu that it was better for her not to know this, and each of them has their own secrets, and he was also able to find a loophole in this matter. Mr. Woo Di told Tushan Xiaoyu that now he can no longer protect Woo Lingan, and he must learn to deal with everyone himself. Woo Di said that sending Woo Lingan to study at the academy is the best way to save him, and the guy was studying the map at that time and was still confused. Mr. Woo Di told Tushan Xiaoyu what he thought about the secrets of his son Woo Lingan, and he never let his son go on a long journey until that day. Woo Di told the nine-tailed fox with the power of a demigod that all the secrets of Woo Lingan are under her protection, and she must remember this and help me. Tushan Xiaoyu told Mr. Wu Di that she understood this but wanted to ask him something important, and he should also listen to the fox. Tushan Xiaoyu asked Mr. Wu Di who will bring them food when he and his brother Woo Lingan leave, and she is so interested to know about it. Mr. Wu Di and all the family members were surprised, and he did not take this issue into account, and must come up with something so as not to go hungry, and this is a problem. The relatives asked to eat quickly, and this was their last luxurious dinner. And Wu Di asked the relatives to stand and leave him a piece of food, and he was hungry. Tushan Xiaoyu asked Mr. Wu Di to enjoy the food and let them wait for them, and soon they will release everyone from this place, and that is the goal. But Mr. Wu Di asked Tushan Xiaoyu to wait a minute, and he wants to tell her something, and it's good that she told him about such a thing now. Tushan Xiaoyu asked Mr. Wu Di what happened, and she definitely won't bring them food because she will help Woo Lingan with the case. Wu Di asked Tushan Xiaoyu to remember, and he knows that their world is close to destruction, and wanted to tell her about it, and now she also knows. Tushan Xiaoyu listened to Mr. Wu Di's words, and he said that the hidden power in Woo Lingan should awaken soon, but they don't have much time. At this time, people came to Zhuantian Academy and they wanted to go to this place and learn martial art and learn a lot. The guy at the entrance asked people not to crowd and keep order, and he is 100% sure that there will be enough space for them all, and they will accept everyone. The guy from Zhuantian Academy asked people to prepare their IDs quickly, and without them they won't let anyone in, and he's serious now. Woo Lingan realized that this was the examination site for righteous cultivators, and he hoped that he would not attract much attention and would be careful there. The guy from the academy told all the applicants that they should all insert their pass into the mouth of the stone lion and the process will definitely begin. The guy from Zhuantian Academy said that the lion will automatically immediately determine the authenticity and check if there is a demonic guy there. The man from Zhuantian Academy told the guy that they would start with him, and he should be the first to put his pass in the lion's mouth, and this is important. The candidate approached the stone lion and put his pass in his mouth, and was sure that he would already pass because he was not a demonic spy. The stone lion lit up with a bright light and the guy didn't know what it all meant, and the person from Zhuantian Academy should tell him this. The mentor of Zhuantian Academy told the first candidate that he was fine and he could pass, and the lion approved him, and he was not a monster. The candidate listened to the words of the mentor of Zhuantian Academy, and he told him thank you and he would meet all their expectations and be the best in practice. The man from Zhuantian Academy asked the next candidate not to waste time and come to him, and they will all pass this test there. Woo Lingan thought that this pass was not fake, and he clearly had not studied demonic techniques and should not be discovered today. And at that moment, Woo Lingan and the other candidates heard a scream, and everyone was wary and wanted to understand what happened to the man there. The mentor of the Zhuantian Academy shouted and said that a demon had been found there, and it was not in vain that he asked everyone to go through the lion, and this is all a test. The monster's hand got stuck in the stone lion's mouth, and he could not get it out of there and screamed and began to ask for help from his good colleagues. The guy said that this stone lion is made of a special material and is incredibly durable, and if it detects an anomaly, it will grab onto his enemy. Woo Lingan listened with interest to the guy's words and realized that the lion was powerful and it would be very difficult for him to pass the test, and he began to be so afraid. The candidate asked for forgiveness from the mentor of Zhuantian Academy, and he is not a demon and just forged a pass and they should let him in there. But the mentor of the Zhuantian Academy asked the demon to stop chatting and ordered the guards to put the offender behind bars and he would be punished. The Zhuantian Academy mentor pointed his finger and told the guy that he was next and should be ready to go through the test after them. Woo Lingan was surprised and asked the person from Zhuantian Academy if another person wanted to pass in front of him, and he would give way. The Zhuantian Academy mentor told the guy with the huge bag that he looked suspicious and should insert his pass into the lion. Lingan was very worried and hoped that if only there were no problems and he passed the test. And this lion of theirs is excellent at identifying demons. The ground under people's feet began to tremble, and they thought that maybe an earthquake had started. And why was the earth shaking? And it was strange. Woo Lingan put his pass into the stone lion's mouth and hoped for success. And he believes that he can enter Zhuantian Academy today. The mentor of Zhuantian Academy told Woo Lingan that his pass is not in doubt, and he is fine, and he can pass, and he is not a demon. Woo Lingan exhaled and calmed down and realized that he was on the verge and was glad that the lion could not figure him out, and he coped with his task right away. But at that moment, the stone lion's face turned red, and anger was visible in his eyes. And it looks like Woo Lingan's scam failed and he was found out. All the people looked at the stone lion and realized that at first he told everyone that the candidate was fine, and now he says that the guy is a demon. Wu Lingan continued not to notice that the face of the stone lion had already changed, and he had to quickly leave this place to avoid trouble. And then the stone lion grabbed Wu Lingan by the hand, like another intruder, and did not want to let him go, and the mentors would take action against the scoundrel. Wu Lingan could not understand what happened and why this statue did not want to let him go, because he received permission to enter this building. And at that same second, suddenly Wu Lingan broke the lion statue into pieces, and the master of the Xuanqian Academy was completely shocked by the sight there. Wu Lingan looked at the master of Xuanqian Academy and realized that this was not so good, and it seemed like he couldn't pass the test now. Wu Lingan asked the mentor of Xuanqian Academy for forgiveness, and he will fix everything now, and they should not worry about it. The mentor of the Xuanqian Academy screamed in shock and said that this was not a person but a demon, and asked the guards to quickly grab him, and he was an enemy. Wu Lingan was surprised and told the Xuanqian Academy mentor that his ID was fine, and why then did they want to grab him? The guy from Xuanqian Academy said that the lion automatically attacks immediately when it detects demonic energy, and how he explains this. Wu Lingan thought that perhaps he was there for too long with his father and the others, so their demonic energy and their aura remained on him. But at that moment, Tushan Xiaoyu approached them and asked them to stop attacking her friend, and she could clearly explain all this to her friends. Tushan Xiaoyu told people that it was as if they were passing judgment without hearing the accusation. And is this typical of righteous masters? The mentor of the Xuanqian Academy asked Tushan Xiaoyu why a representative of the demon family was interfering in the affairs of the great academy. And then Tushan Xiaoyu clung to Wu Lingan and thought that she would definitely not let him be offended, and no one would dare to accuse him of anything ever. Tushan Xiaoyu told the person from Xuanqian Academy that she is Wu Lingan's brother's guardian, and that's why she interferes in matters. People couldn't understand if this girl was a guardian, and weren't they appointed by all major sects to protect their important disciples? The guy told his friend that it looks like this guy is not simple, and maybe he has prepared a surprise and can surprise all the people, and this is all possible. Tushan Xiaoyu told the person from Xuanqian Academy that since they determined that the pass is in order, let them see where they got it from. The mentor of the Xuanqian Academy could not believe his eyes, and this is the legendary sect of heavenly supremacy, and this is incredibly cool. Tushan Xiaoyu said that everything is correct, and this is the same sect that was destroyed by demons 2,000 years ago, and brother Wu Lingan is the heir. People asked what kind of sect of heavenly supremacy this is, and their sect is so strong and still was destroyed by demons, and this is an intrigue. One of the people listened to the guy's opinion and said that they clearly don't know this, and don't seem to have read the story and should find out about everything there is. The guy told all his colleagues that they didn't know because their sect was called the Heavenly Supremacy Sect, and all the people were frozen there. Tushan Xiaoyu told the mentor from Xuanqian Academy that these traces of demonic energy on the pass are so easily explained to everyone. A colleague told his mentor that it seems that this guy accidentally received the inheritance of the Celestial Supremacy Sect, and their relationship is strained. The man from Xuanqian Academy told the candidates that they could enter, but if he noticed something, they would be in trouble, and he would punish them. Wu Lingan and Tushan Xiaoyu listened to the instructions of the mentor of Xuanqian Academy and said that they would be good boys and would not harm them. Wu Lingan thought that he was lucky that his friend Tushan Xiaoyu was next to him, and she was able to find a compromise on this issue right away. Tushan Xiaoyu told brother Wu Lingan that there is no need to stress so much, and everything is fine and nothing will happen to him as long as she is there. Tushan Xiaoyu told Wu Lingan that if he behaves as usual, no one will suspect and he should not be nervous about himself. Wu Lingan told Tushan Xiaoyu that he would try to behave as usual, and then the cultivators would not guess anything, and this is all true. At this time, all the candidates who passed quickly entered their Xuanqian Academy and waited for the next instructions, and where are all the teachers of the academy? People discussed what they saw and thought that this guy was cool during the test, and no one had shown such a result before him, and he amazed them. And then a teacher from Xuanqian Academy named Mei Yanli came out to the candidates, and he looked at all the people who had already passed the tests. Mechanical section mentor Huang Luhong asked teacher Mei how he would assess the quality of this year's newcomers and whether there is potential. Mei Yanli told teacher Huang Luhong that this year's selection is good and the participants can surprise them, and he believes in their skills and talent. Teacher Mei Yanli told Master Huang Luhong that many promising students had come and they could bring their skills to the maximum. And even the Heihuan and Yujian sects had to send their people, and Bai Shuang from Yujian Peak stood there, and she also came to participate. And next to Bai Shuang stood the cool heir of the Heihuan sect named Teshankao Juduan Zhongma. and he thought that he would be the best. Teshankao Juduan asked the sweet lady Bai Shuang if she would like to cultivate together with him and they would be in tandem with her friend. But Bai Shuang did not want to communicate with Teshankao Juduan and told her not to flirt with her and get away, and she hates such guys. People said that Bai Shuang is the only daughter of the head of Yujin, and she is a super genius and has already passed into the founding stage at the age of 11. Bai Shuang thought that her father was right. And among all the newcomers of this Xuantian academy, there is no one worthy of her attention, and this is bad. Mei Yanli told teacher Huang Luhong that although the quality of this year's students is good, there is one nuance, and he can't help but see it. Mei Yanli said that it seemed like some strange guy had moved in, and Woo Lingan was training at that time, and he wanted to behave as usual. Huang Luhong smiled and said that the guy had probably now reached the stage of forming spiritual energy and wanted to brag about it. Teacher Mei Yanli said that with such pretentious behavior, this guy will not even pass the first test, and he is sure of his failure. Teacher Mei Yanli decided to explain everything to the beginners, and they should be aware and not ask unnecessary questions during their tests. Teacher Mei Yanli thought that everyone has a chance to show themselves, and beginners just need effort and then they will succeed right away. Teacher Mei Yanli asked the students to pay a little attention, and he wants to convey important information so that they are ready later. The newcomers looked at Teacher Mei Yanli and said that it was great, and he could fly in the air as expected from their academy teacher. The teacher said that his name is Mei Yanli, and he himself is responsible for selecting new students, and now he will conduct an entrance test for everyone. Woo Lingan continued to train, and teacher Mei Yanli said that only those who pass all the stages will be able to become students of their academy. Woo Lingan looked intently at teacher Mei Yanli, and he thought that this teacher seemed familiar to him, and it looked like they had met with Yanli. Teacher Mei Yanli was furious and asked Woo Lingan why he was looking at him like that and let him explain his impudent behavior to all of them. Woo Lingan thought that this teacher Mei Yanli was strange and he needed to communicate more politely with newcomers because they might be offended by him. But suddenly Woo Lingan told teacher Mei Yanli that his lace glittered a little in the sun, and the teacher was tied to hang there. Teacher Mei Yanli actually can't fly, and it's all an illusion, and he used a cable to create the effect of flight, and it's clever. Teacher Mei Yanli came down to the students and thought that he should discuss something with them, and especially this guy needs help. Teacher Mei Yanli told Woo Lingan that he is a good boy and he is waiting for his results, and the newcomer said, "Thank you to the teacher for his faith." Teacher Mei Yanli wanted to continue the conversation with Woo Lingan, but someone pulled him back upstairs and the teacher did not have time to say what he was thinking there. Teacher Mei Yanli was furious and asked the guy if he had not told him to leave him in that place and why he pulled him back. Bai Shuang thought what kind of strange turn this is and why the teacher at Xuantian Academy can't even fly. And who is this impudent guy? Teacher Huang Luhong thought that this guy managed to offend such a respected person in just a couple of minutes and would definitely fail. Teacher Mei Yanli became aggressive and tore his shirt, and he wanted to impress all the students with his strength and energy, and that's true. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that this was just a warm-up, and now he will give them the first test and wishes good luck to everyone. Woo Lingan wondered if it was necessary to rip off his shirt for the test, and it looks like the teacher is angry, and maybe he should apologize. The student said that teacher Mei Yanli has powerful muscles and an extremely intimidating aura. And is he really the one he thinks about? And this is so cool. A friend told the guy that there could be no mistake and the teacher Mei Yanli was the one they were thinking about, and he did not expect to see a legend in their academy. The guy told all the students that this was Sandy's legendary body, and he didn't think that anyone could achieve such results, and it's intriguing. All the students were very interested, and they asked the guy what kind of body Sandy was, and let him explain to them all the information about Sandy. The guy said that Sandy's body cannot actively cultivate and even use magic, and he had long heard about this legend Sandy. But the guy said that Sandy's body is capable of absorbing the energy of opponents' attacks and turning it into its own power, and he thought that it was all a myth. All the people listened to the guy and said that the stronger the enemy, the stronger the owner of Sandy's body becomes, and therefore it is very difficult to defeat him. People said that rates below teacher Mei Yanli's level do not harm him at all, and this is incredible. And that is why teachers appreciate. Woo Lingan wondered if it really turns out that in order to become cultivators, everyone needs to force themselves to be beaten, and this is all very strange. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that now they must hit him with all their strength and use spiritual energy, and he will appreciate everyone. Teacher Mei Yanli thought that the guy was caught, and this test of theirs completely depends on his decision, and he will kick him out, and he decided it. Teacher Mei Yanli pointed his finger at Woo Lingan and said that they would already start the test with him and he must show his full potential. Wu Lingan told teacher Mei Yanli that then let him be prepared, and he has great strength and he can accidentally harm him, and this is a fact. Teacher Mei Yanli began to laugh and told Wu Lingan that even all the Huashan stage cultivators could not hurt him, and he was only a beginner. Teacher Mei Yanli told Wu Lingan that even if he is strong, it doesn't mean anything. But the guy had already swung his hand and wanted to hit the teacher, and at that very second, Wu Lingan dealt a powerful blow right to the face of the smart and strong teacher Mei Yanli and did not even let him finish his sentence. Teacher Mei Yanli flew to the side and Wu Lingan thought that he himself knew that the teacher could get hurt, but he thought that the newcomer was weak. Teacher Mei Yanli crashed into the wall with a roar and realized that in vain he had underestimated the newcomer, and Wu Lingan was able to surprise him, and it was strong. All the teachers and students were completely shocked by Wu Lingan's blow, and they did not know that this newcomer had such strength and he simply broke the teacher. Teacher Huang Luhong looked at all this and was perplexed at what he just saw and who this guy was, and how he was able to hit so hard. Wu Lingan noticed that teacher Mei Yanli crashed into the wall and simply broke it, and he didn't mean to hit it so hard and it was an accident. Wu Lingan was also surprised and realized that the teacher cultivator Yanli had simply disappeared and he did not see him, and he himself asked to hit him in the face. Wu Lingan noticed that teacher Mei Yanli was lying on the ground, and it seems that he no longer wants the students to hit him, and regretted everything. Teacher Mei Yanli was lying on the ground unconscious, and he was not prepared for such a blow, and the student managed to take him by surprise, and it was powerful. Wu Lingan asked the teachers and students if he passed the test, and he remembers how teacher Mei Yanli said that he himself would evaluate his blow. All the people were horrified and realized that it was better not to approach Wu Lingan, and he could cause them problems or take their lives right away. Tushan Xiaoyu arrived at Xuantian Academy at this time, and she wanted to visit Wu Lingan and find out how he was doing at the new academy. Tushan Xiaoyu noticed that all the people were looking at Wu Lingan, and he was already able to hit them all, and they could not take their eyes off her friend Wu. Shan Xiaoyu thought that it was not in vain that brother Lingang entered Xuantian Academy, and he entered today, and already there he attracted the attention of everyone. The newcomers asked the student if he hadn't told them that attacks below the Huashan stage could not harm the health of their teacher Mei Yanli's. The student told all his colleagues that he himself doesn't know what happened and nothing is written about this in the books, and he doesn't know exactly what's going on. Bai Shuang thought that it seemed that not only she was hiding there, but all the people were asking Wu Lingan what he did and how he hit Mei like that. Teacher Huang Luhong approached Master Mei Yanli and realized that he was knocked out and needed time for him to come to his senses, and he was injured. Teacher Huang Luhong told Wu Lingan that his punch was not at the level of the late Yuanying stage, and the student thought that the guy was dressed like a traffic light. And at that moment, teacher Mei Yanli woke up and thought that it was unexpected, and he did not think that the student would hit him right in the face then. Teacher Mei Yanli came to his senses and stood up and thought that he should discuss everything with Wu Lingan personally and let the guy answer for his action. Teacher Mei Yanli ran towards Wu Lingan, and the guy realized that he hit him too hard and he might have problems with his head. Teacher Mei Yanli was angry and told Wu Lingan that he was a scoundrel and hit him before he was ready, and he didn't know why he did that. Master Mei Yanli told Wu Lingan that he said to hit his stomach and not his face, and the student asked for forgiveness and the teacher, and he was so wrong. The student who praised the teacher Mei Yanli said that everything became clear, and the teacher was simply not ready for the blow and therefore did not defend himself then. The newcomers said that this is why Sandy's legendary body could no longer withstand the blow, and now they want to see the master's skills in action. Teacher Mei Yanli told Wu Lingan that the first test will be immediately cancelled, and if he does this again, he will kick him out of there. Wu Lingan listened to the words of the master and told him that he understood everything, and he would not hurt him, and he should tell him when he was ready for his attack. Teacher Mei Yanli was absolutely 100% confident in himself, and realized that the student was just lucky, and he would not be able to do anything to him. Teacher Mei Yanli began to use the technique of Sandy's holy body and unshakable will, and no one can harm him in sparring. The student said that this is the unshakable Sandy, and this is the strongest defensive technique of Sandy's body, and their teacher Mei Yanli was waiting for the moment. The student told the newcomer that this technique of teacher Mei Yanli allows him to convert all the strength of the body into defense, and he will punish the student for hitting. Teacher Mei Yanli said that this is his final move to immediately test Duji stage cultivators, and he will definitely not defeat him. And at that moment, Wu Lingan dealt a powerful blow to the stomach of teacher Mei Yanli, and realized that he could take the blow much better and was ready for it. Teacher Mei Yanli didn't even move from his place, and Wu Lingan realized that the master was really strong, and He wasn't lying about the fact that he wasn't ready for the blow. All the newcomers said that the unshakable Sandy was really strong, and teacher Mei Yanli didn't even move a foot and had already kept his promise. But teacher Huang Luhong understood everything. And why do all the students think that teacher Mei Yanli did not move and suffered a blow from Woo Lingan? Teacher Huang Luhong realized that Master Mei Yanli had lost consciousness while standing and he could not move, and his blow was very strong. Teacher Huang Luhong wanted to take Mei Yanli with him and told everyone that teacher Mei was not feeling well today and they completed the task. All the newcomers were happy and said that they all passed the first stage, and they didn't even strain, and Woo Lingan helped a lot with the task. Teshankao Juduan told Woo Lingan that he did not expect that there would be anyone strong other than him at this test, and asked what his name was. The newcomer told Teshankao Juduan that his name is Woo Lingan, and he is glad to meet him. And what is the name of his friend, and why did he come up to him there? The guy said that his name is Teshankao Juduan, and the heir of the Heihuan and Yaohuashu sect of the 4th level, and his hobby is the cultivation of strength. Teshankao Juduan told Woo Lingan that judging by his performance, he wants to make friends with him, and together they can achieve success there. Woo Lingan listened to Teshankao Juduan's words and wondered if this guy wants to cultivate together with him. And this guy is a dreamer. Other newcomers approached Woo Lingan and asked the master if he could take the younger brothers with him and help them, and they all wanted this. The guy told Woo Lingan that he is Tian from the Tianji clan, and he can provide him with the most accurate information and asks him for support. The guy asked for forgiveness from Woo Lingan, and he is there collecting information and wants to find out the whole biography about all their newcomers there. But the guy told Lingan that he didn't have any information about him, and Lingan realized what a familiar feeling this was, and he remembered himself. The guy asked Woo Lingan to tell him what school or clan he is from, and none of them know anything about him, and he is a very secretive guy. Woo Lingan was very nervous and said that he was a traveling master and cultivator, and he could write down such information about him there. And then Bai Shuang asked all the newcomers to leave and thought that she should not waste time and say everything she thinks about Woo Lingan now. Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan that he is a real lover of standing out, and she will show him the difference between him and a genius, and he will find out everything himself. Bai Shuang turned away and thought that she wanted to quickly go through their tests there and show a masterclass, and everyone would be jealous. One newcomer secretly stood aside and listened to Bai Shuang's words, and he will soon meet her, and Shuang is very interesting and talented. But suddenly teacher Huang Luhong told the students that they should not rejoice ahead of time, and he knew that it would be difficult for them to pass. Huang Luhong pressed the button and thought that the students clearly do not know what task awaits them, and they should be careful and take care of themselves. And at that very second, strange events began to happen, and the students thought, maybe it was an earthquake. And what did teacher Luhong do? The newcomers noticed that walls had appeared in front of them, and they would not be able to get out of there, and it looked like they had to complete the task first. All the students ended up in a metal box, and teacher Luhong believes that someone will show their potential and find a way out of the situation. People saw that there were metal dogs in the room, and they didn't want them to attack them, and maybe someone could explain to them all the conditions. Metal soldiers appeared in front of the newcomers, and they are in a trap, and maybe Woo Lingan will be able to defeat the robots like teacher Mei Yanli. The students realize that the funding for Xuanqin Academy is huge, and they create such huge and strong robots, and no one knows. The students noticed that teacher Huang Luhong had not gone anywhere, and they would not be able to learn anything without him. And maybe they should defeat the robots. The teacher told the newcomers that he introduced himself, and his name is Mr. Huang Luhong, and he is the head of the mechanical section at Xuanqin Academy. Huang Luhong said that he is also an examiner of the second stage, and mechanical puppets are placed on their square, and these are their creations. Teacher Huang Luhong told the students that during the test, all these robots will attack them with their mechanisms, and it is so dangerous. Huang Luhong said that the test lasts 1 stick of incense, and they can refuse, and the fewer hits, the higher their score. Huang Luhong said that for weaklings who pass the first stage by luck, this test will be a real hell. Teacher Huang Luhong told the students that it would be difficult for them because the mechanical puppets use real projectiles there. Mechanical robots began to attack the students, and Huang Luhong immediately told them, "Welcome to the applicants' cemetery, and that's cool." There was an explosion and a roar, and all the newcomers fled from there in horror, and they said that the robots are too fast and how to escape from these enemies. Mechanical robots continued to attack all the students, and one of the newcomers, Woo Lingan, deftly dodged the attacks of the robots in their hall. Teacher Huang Luhong was proud and told the guy from the Heihuan sect that he was great and passed the test well and no one would stop him. Teshankao Juduan used the illusory Teshankao technique, and the robots will not be able to reach him with shots, and he is nimble and insidious. Teshankao Juduan said that he used the illusory Teshankao technique in their battle, which provided complete protection from behind her. But suddenly, at that very moment, Teshankao Juduan was now wounded by a shot from the robots, and he said that attacking in the face was very vile. Teacher Huang Luhong was indignant and thought that he didn't tell him anything like that and received that he overestimated the guy and he just gave up there. But then Huang Luhong noticed another newcomer and realized that all was not lost, and she could surprise everyone, and he believed in her potential there. Huang Luhong realized that the girl from Yujin Peak is also strong and she easily evades attacks and has no problem with their task. But Bai Shuang noticed how Woo Lingan was performing the task, and she never expected that the guy would do this, and what was the idiot thinking? People noticed how Woo Lingan simply made holes on the ground, and it seems that he did not understand the rules of the test and does not want to complete all the missions correctly. Woo Lingan exhaled and said that he couldn't be reached like that, and he could pass the test without any effort because all beginners pass everything there. Teacher Huang Luhong was furious and told Woo Lingan that he did not understand the essence of the test, and this was a test of speed and not strength, and he broke everything. Huang Luhong told Woo Lingan that this stage tests their speed, and if he breaks his robots again, he will immediately be expelled from there. Woo Lingan asked the teacher for forgiveness, and he did not fully understand the rules of the test and thought that he was doing everything right and now he was wrong. Bai Shuang thought that it was not for nothing that her father said that men like to stand out, and this guy does everything to be noticed by all the teachers. Woo Lingan told teacher Huang Luhong that now he will pull this robot out of there and he accidentally stuck it in the ground and will fix everything there. But at that moment, teacher Mei Yanli grabbed the control panel from his colleague Huang Luhong and thought that he would figure out this matter himself. Teacher Mei Yanli told Master Huang Luhong that with people like Woo Lingan, there is no need to waste time talking, and they need to act. Teacher Mei Yanli told colleague Huang Luhong that he must let Woo Lingan feel the full power of their robots if he wants to fight. Teacher Mei Yanli transformed the robots into combat mode and thought that Woo Lingan was tired of him, and he definitely would not be able to defeat such warriors. Teacher Mei Yanli wanted to teach Woo Lingan a lesson for what he did to him, and he humiliated him in front of the entire academy, and he remembered it all. All the students looked at the transformation of robots and thought that this was not part of their plans, and it looks like Woo Lingan himself ran into robots. The robot's eyes began to glow, and teacher Mei Yanli was 100% sure that he would teach the impudent man a lesson, and he would become much more modest. Woo Lingan looked at the robots and thought, "Are these Transformers?" And the teachers of Xuanqian Academy managed to surprise him, and it's so cool. The guy said that this is the United Yuan Rong, and these robots are stronger than the cultivators of the Jindan stage, and they want to destroy all the guys. Tian said that this is not all, and the robots' weapons are covered with dangerous and deadly poison, and the teachers of Xuanqian Academy are very cruel. The guy was surprised and asked Brother Tian if he was able to notice this and how he managed it, and he knows a lot of all kinds of information. But Tian was hit by darts and he told the guys that he was dizzy, and now was not the time for lectures and he needed to quickly run away from there. Teacher Huang Luhong told Mei Yanli that he was going too far, and all this could kill someone, and their Xuanqian Academy did not harm their students. But teacher Mei Yanli listened to the words of his colleague and asked him what the difference was, and, on the contrary, they would help all students cope with them. Teacher Mei Yanli asked Huang Luhong because he also doesn't want this impudent person to pass the test, and they can stop the impudent person. And at that very second, the robots began to attack the students, and Mei Yanli does not want to wait and needs to punish those who were against his ideas before. Woo Lingan deftly dodged all the robots' attacks and thought that it was not so difficult, and he could adapt to the defense, and he was confident in his abilities. Woo Lingan heard the screams of other newcomers and turned around to personally check what was happening there and why they were experiencing pain there. Woo Lingan noticed that the robots were able to injure many students, and they asked the guy what they had to do with it and why the robot injured them too. Woo Lingan asked the students for forgiveness and said that it seems they are not doing well and they were injured from robot attacks, and this is a problem. Teacher Mei Yanli asked Woo Lingan if he could evade, and then he would send even more robots and they would punish him for all his deeds. And then many robots appeared in front of Woo Lingan, and they wanted to attack him on the orders of teacher Mei Yanli, and he wants to take personal revenge. But Woo Lingan was ready to fight with all his might against the robots, and he was not afraid because before that, he had defeated many dangerous monsters and monsters. But teacher Mei Yanli told Woo Lingan that if he breaks their robots again, they will expel him from Swantian Academy, and this is true. The newcomers said that all the robots went to attack Woo Lingan, and it became much easier for them there, and they were not in danger, and he saved them all. But the students could not understand if Woo Lingan is now being attacked by so many robots. How can he fight back, and it will be very difficult for the guy. Tian told brother Woo Lingan that he promises that next year he will bring him incense and he is doomed to failure and the robots are strong. Bai Shuang thought that this was a consequence of the love of showing off, and her father was absolutely right, and in vain, Woo Lingan wanted to appear the best. All the robots at the same time began to attack Woo Lingan, and he stood still and realized that the teachers of Swantian Academy wanted him to leave. Woo Lingan thought that that's all, and that's all people doubt him, and don't believe that he can defeat the robots and they will punish him and everyone is happy. But Woo Lingan didn't want to give up, and he will show the masterclass to the teachers, and they will understand that they shouldn't kick him out because he has talents. And at that moment, Woo Lingan jumped high and realized that this would help him, and he came up with a brilliant plan, and maybe it will help him now. The robots collided with each other, and they could not catch up with Woo Lingan, and the guy is too fast and nimble, and he is ready to repel all blows. Teacher Mei Yanli was shocked and wondered if Woo Lingan really took off and how is this possible, and he is amazing, and who is this guy? Teacher Huang Luhong cried and said that his robots were suffering and he couldn't fix them. And why did this newcomer break them? And that was a problem. Beginners don't know who Woo Lingan is, and flying with a sword is only available from Jindan level cultivation, and how the guy was able to do. But Tian said that Woo Lingan does not use spiritual energy to fly, and he can clearly explain everything to his comrades, and it is not difficult. Tian told the newcomers that Woo Lingan jumps using his muscles, and he trained many times and was able to pump up his strength so much. Tian said that Woo Lingan compensates for the force of gravity now due to powerful pushes, and it is simply incredible how strong the body is. The students told Tian that he had better take a break and he should rest because he was injured, and he would tell them everything after the rest. But teacher Mei Yanli was furious and said that even the strongest body has a limit, and he will not be able to stay in the air for long now. Teacher Mei Yanli ordered the robots to attack the landing site, and then they would be able to injure the guy and he would not be able to defend himself for long. Woo Lingan realized that he should not break robots and getting hit would mean losing points. And what should he do and how to defeat his enemies? And then Woo Lingan noticed Bai Shuang next to him. And he came up with a plan and hopes that she can help him and he will send the robots there. Woo Lingan followed the arrows of robots and thought that all the teachers were motivating him on the contrary, and he would prove that they were all wrong in their opinion. Woo Lingan decided that he had no other option, and he must now try to evade the robots' attacks without getting hurt, and this is important. And at that moment, Woo Lingan appeared next to Bai Shuang, and she did not understand and does not know what this guy is doing there, and he must fight the enemy. Bai Shuang asked Woo Lingan what he was up to and why he was looking at her like that, and the guy was sure that it would work, otherwise he would get hurt. Bai Shuang was terrified and doesn't know why Woo Lingan is approaching her. And is he really one of those guys that her father warned her about? Woo Lingan hid behind Bai Shuang and the robots attacked her, and she effortlessly defended herself from the robots' arrows and she had a sword to attack. Woo Lingan continued to hide behind Bai Shuang, and she will not let him get hurt, and she defends herself well from attacks and has power. Bai Shuang was angry and asked Woo Lingan not to use her as a shield, and he asked his sister for forgiveness, and he simply did not find another way out. Bai Shuang swung her sword and Woo Lingan managed to dodge her blow, and he realized that this girl has great potential and she is unique. Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan that she would deal with him first and he would not be able to hide from her anywhere. And why did he hope for her help there? Woo Lingan quickly ran to the side and Bai Shuang asked the guy to just stand, and he realized that he was trapped and the attack was coming at him from both sides. It seems to the students that this test does not concern them at all, and the enemies do not attack them and they do not pass the test. And this is not their problem. Tian said that brother Woo Lingan, even with attacks from both sides, manages to move so deftly, and it's just incredible, and he's cool. Teacher Mei Yanli noticed that everyone was chasing Woo Lingan, and he wanted to know how he would escape now, and the guy was in a trap and he was an idiot. And then Woo Lingan's attention was attracted by teacher Mei Yanli, and he realized that they themselves could become his salvation, and he already had an action plan. Woo Lingan noticed burning things in teacher Mei Yanli's mouth, and realized that this was great, and the teacher did not expect this at all, and he would help them. Woo Lingan looked at teacher Huang Luhong, and his brain continues to think about actions there, and it looks like the teachers are proud of their deeds. Lingan decided that he has a plan, and now he will take action against the teachers, and they will understand that they messed with the wrong guy. and he is talented. Bai Shuang looked at Lingan and wondered if this guy had given up, and he didn't look like someone who would just give up. And what did he come up with then? Woo Lingan took a deep breath and decided that this method would take everyone by surprise, and the teachers of Shuantian Academy did not expect such actions. Teacher Mei Yanli could not understand why, in such a situation, Woo Lingan turned around and took a deep breath, and maybe the guy had already gone crazy. Bai Shuang thought that it looked like Woo Lingan was gaining energy, or she didn't understand what he was doing and how he would defeat everyone with such actions. The newcomers thought it was strange, and all of Woo Lingan's actions cannot be predicted in advance and is unpredictable and can be used. Teacher Huang Luhong asked Mei Yanli what Woo Lingan was up to, and he hopes that he can defeat the coolest robots, and this is all absurd. Teacher Mei Yanli told Huang Luhong that this is just a bluff, and the student does not know what to do, and he will not be able to get out of this situation there. And then teacher Mei Yanli and Huang Luhong froze in place, and they both don't know Woo Lingan's plan, and maybe the guy wants to ask for help. Teacher Mei Yanli asked student Woo Lingan not to think that loud statements will help him pass the test, and he is in vain hoping for this. But Woo Lingan asked teacher Mei Yanli if he could interrupt him, and he wanted to convey important information, and then he would understand everything himself. Teacher Mei Yanli was surprised and realized that it looked like the incense for the test had already burned out, and he didn't understand how this was possible. Teacher Huang Luhong thought, did this exhalation of Woo Lingan speed up the burning of incense? And what kind of physical ability does this guy have? But suddenly disciple Tian said that brother Woo Lingan had a different goal and was able to hit all the people, and no one really expected this. Bai Shuang's clothes began to tear, and Tian said that brother Woo Lingan took out extra time for rest for them, and their boyfriend is a genius. Bai Shuang was furious with Woo Lingan's action and thought that this was not cultural, and she would soon strike back at the scoundrel, and that's for sure. Bai Shuang ran from there and told Woo Lingan that they were not finished with him yet, and she would deal with him, and he would answer for all his actions. But Woo Lingan didn't understand anything and asked Sister Bai Shuang what he did to her, and maybe she would answer his question and he wouldn't understand anything there. But at that moment, some person began to clap for Woo Lingan and realized that they were lucky that talent had already come to their academy this year. All the newcomers looked at this man and realized that he was not simple, and he appreciated Woo Lingan's skills, and all this time he was watching them in their hall. The man said that so many years had passed and he had not seen such interesting newcomers for a long time, and they were clearly able to amaze him, and it was so cool. It was the rector of Shuantian Academy named Yu Tianxing, and he told everyone that this year's tests are exciting and everyone is having so much fun. The students asked if this was the rector of Shuantian Academy, and they had not seen him before and thought that he looked different, and it was dark. The students said that the rector of Shuantian Academy looked completely unreliable, and they imagined him as a respectable person before. The students said that even the wig on his head is about to fall off, and he doesn't think about his appearance and seems to want to communicate with the teachers. Tian asked the guys not to talk nonsense, and this is the legendary Scarlet Cultivator Yu Tianxing. But why does he rarely go out? Tian said that they say that Yu Tianxing is a terrible martial artist who 2,000 years ago already killed many demons. But Yu Tianxing's determination and bloodlust shocked even the most righteous cultivators, and his hair was dyed with demon blood. The newcomers told friend Tian that this story sounded incredible, and they did not think that the rector was so cool and was able to defeat many demons. But the students asked their friends why the signature red hair of the rector of Shuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, turned out to be a wig now. The rector of Shuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, asked the kid what his name was, and the guy said that he was Woo Lingan and he was glad to meet Mr. Tushan Xiaoyu was watching them at this time and couldn't understand why the rector of Shuantian Academy suddenly appeared there today. Tushan Xiaoyu also realized that brother Woo Lingan had offended him from the very beginning, and he needed to fix everything urgently. Otherwise, he would have problems. Tushan Xiaoyu began to communicate with Woo Lingan and asked her brother if he could hear her, and the guy realized that it was the fox talking to him there. Tushan Xiaoyu told Woo Lingan that he had just blown off the wig of the rector Yu Tianxing, and he had not yet had time to react, and we need to help him. Teacher Mei Yanli wanted to tell the rector of Shuantian Academy their very important news, and he must listen to all the information at once. But Rector Yu Tianxing said that Woo Lingan's action was of course stupid, but mentor Mei Yanli should be generous and kind there. Rector Yu Tianxing told Mei Yanli that if he were as strong as him, would it be a problem, and in the end it was his inexperience. And at that very second, the wig of the rector of Shuantian Academy began to fall, and he didn't even notice it and continued to talk about their newcomer Woo. Shan Xiaoyu told Woo Lingan that he should act now, and the guy ran towards the rector and wanted to grab his wig there. Woo Lingan quickly replaced the wig of the rector of the academy, and he should not be offended about this, and he will save the reputation of Rector Yu. The rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, was shocked, and this speed amazes him, and if not for his keen eyes, he would not even notice it. Woo Lingan told Rector Yu Tianxing that he dropped something, and it was his duty to return it to him, and there was no need to look at him with gratitude, and he was so happy. Teacher Mei Yanli was in complete shock and asked the rector what happened to him, and he didn't look very good, and maybe he needed their help. There was a dart on the head of the rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, and Mei Yanli told Mr. that he seemed to be wounded, and they would help him right away. Shan Xiaoyu was alarmed, and realized that she should now separate the wig and the poisoned darts before using them. Teacher Mei Yanli held student Woo Lingan by the scruff of the neck and said that he was impudent, and how dare he attack the rector of the best academy. Woo Lingan asked Teacher Mei Yanli for forgiveness and said that he himself did not want to harm the rector and was simply mistaken, and he was sorry and he was wrong. The rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, asked Mei Yanli if he really thinks that such a little thing can hurt him. And this is absurd. But Teacher Mei Yanli told Rector Yu Tianxing that it seemed to him that his bleeding did not stop and only student Woo Lingan was to blame. But Rector Yu Tianxing asked Teacher Mei Yanli to speak less. And this is just part of his test for him, and he wanted to check. Woo Lingan was amazed, and it was not for nothing that Tianxing, the rector of Xuantian Academy, and even that did not stop him. And he is full of strength and energy, and he is cool. Shan Xiaoyu was furious and asked Woo Lingan if he didn't see that Rector Yu Tianxing was pretending that everything was fine with him there. The rector of the Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, told his colleagues that this is not a problem and is just a dart, and pull it out, and then there will be no trouble. But when the rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, pulled out the dart, he aggravated his injury, and Woo Lingan realized that this was not part of the plans. The rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, began to fall to the floor and lose consciousness, and realized that Woo Lingan is fast and strong and has a gift. Teacher Mei Yanli quickly approached the rector Yu Tianxing and asked him not to lose consciousness, and soon they would help him and he would live. The students asked their friends if this was their future rector, and he was just an old man who could only pretend that everything was fine. The newcomers said that it seems that the rector of the Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, actually came there on stilts, and where all the legends about him come from. Teacher Huang Luhong said that everyone who remained in the square passed the second stage, and he congratulated them, and they will continue to complete the tasks. Teacher Mei Yanli still wanted to help Rector Yu Tianxing, and Huang Luhong said the third stage division into classes will begin tomorrow. Teacher Huang Luhong asked Mei Yanli to help him, and urgently needed to take Rector Yu Tianxing to the Elixir Hall, where their doctors would help him. The student asked his friend if this really meant that they had now passed their test, and brother Woo Lingan helped them a lot and completed everything himself then. A friend listened to the words of the newcomer and said that they had passed the test, but something was wrong and he could not understand what. But he would soon find out all the trouble. And then the student turned around and noticed the robots behind him and told his friend that it was as if the teachers had forgotten something because they were busy with the rector. And at that very second, the robots began to attack the students, and the guy told them that teacher Huang Luhong forgot to turn off the robots, and this is a shock. One of the newcomers looked from the side at how the students were fighting the robots there and thought that they were funny, and they all ran so funny. The guy smiled and realized that they had led themselves into a trap, and he didn't know how they would get out of this situation, and he was intrigued by the actions. After a while, the student told his friend that today he almost died because of the arrows of robots, and they were all miraculously able to escape from this ordeal. A friend told the guy that he had exactly the same feeling and that he was glad that they were not seriously injured and would be able to go through all the tests together. Woo Lingan also came into the room and realized that today was a difficult and exciting day, and he would never forget meeting the rector. Shan Xiaoyu asked brother Woo Lingan why he is still awake and training because it's already late, and brother needs to gain strength and energy. Woo Lingan told Shan Xiaoyu that he needs to continue to build up his strength today, and tomorrow is a test, and he needs to complete these missions. Shan Xiaoyu agreed with Woo Lingan and said that the third stage is really important, but she is 100% sure that it will pass easily. Shan Xiaoyu said that the better the class, the more resources for cultivation, but Woo Lingan needs to divide her time into work and rest. Shan Xiaoyu suggested that Woo Lingan smear him with a tincture with a red flower and disperse his blood, and he will become even stronger. Wu Lingan was surprised and told Tushan Xiaoyu that she already had a face like she wanted to do something strange, and she was starting to scare her brother. Tushan Xiaoyu said that brother Wu Lingan is so strong, powerful, and purposeful, and many people need to learn his skills from him. But at that moment, Tushan Xiaoyu suddenly tripped on a stone under her foot and thought that now she would fall and no one would save her. But Wu Lingan helped Tushan Xiaoyu and did not let her fall and asked her friend to be careful and she might get injured if she falls. Tushan Xiaoyu smiled and realized that her plan worked and now she will do what she wanted, and no one will stop her from doing it. Bai Shuang was walking around the area at this time and could not forget how Wu Lingan humiliated her in front of everyone and why he did this to her. Bai Shuang thought that Wu Lingan is a scoundrel, and she will make him answer for his actions and he will regret that he contacted her and she is not a mistake. And then Bai Shuang heard the girl scream and thought it was strange because the territory of Xuanqian Academy is protected from all enemies. Bai Shuang wondered if this voice was asking for help. And maybe she needed it, and she should check the situation and see for herself. Bai Shuang realized that she was in the right place at the right time and she would help the poor girl if the enemy wanted to harm her now. Bai Shuang was shocked and saw the silhouette and wondered if Lingan was taking the life of someone in his room. And where did he come from so much anger? Bai Shuang thought that this couldn't be true, and Wu Lingan had just arrived at Xuanqian Academy, and how could he take someone's life? Bai Shuang thought that she probably just imagined it, and she definitely didn't need to worry and just needed to calm down and think about good things. But suddenly Bai Shuang saw Wu Lingan's silhouette again and realized that all the evidence was there and she had to take action and help them. Wu Lingan was jumping rope at that time and told Tushan Xiaoyu that he left the house so quickly that he forgot his good jump rope. Tushan Xiaoyu told Wu Lingan that it was good that his uncles noticed this and gave him this iron jump rope weighing 3,000 kilograms. Tushan Xiaoyu told Wu Lingan that it was a pity that she spilled the red flower tincture on the floor, and it would have helped heal her friend's wounds. Tushan Xiaoyu told Wu Lingan that first she needed to clean up the spill, and then she would help him train and he would improve his skills. But Tushan Xiaoyu stumbled again and realized that she had not noticed that there was also a tincture on the floor under her, and she needed to be more careful. Bai Shuang thought that no matter how it was necessary to save the girl, and her father taught that you should always help people in trouble, and she remembers. But suddenly at that moment, Bai Shuang saw this girl in the window and couldn't believe her eyes, and was completely horrified and she was suffering so much there. Bai Shuang closed her eyes and realized that it was too late. And why didn't she come earlier and then she could save the lady? Wu Lingan asked Tushan Xiaoyu if she was okay and if she needed help, and it seemed like she had problems and he would stop training there. Tushan Xiaoyu told Wu Lingan that she was fine, and she fell there and wanted to clean up the tincture that she spilled on the floor, and this is important. But Tushan Xiaoyu told Wu Lingan that her clothes were dirty, and she had to change her clothes and couldn't walk around like that with him. Wu Lingan thought that Tushan Xiaoyu is sloppy and she should not rush, because she can do all this competently if she does not rush. Wu Lingan went to the closet and told Tushan Xiaoyu that he would find her something clean and she shouldn't worry about it today. Tushan Xiaoyu was happy and told brother Wu Lingan that he is so kind and caring and she is happy that he always takes care of her. But at that moment, Bai Shuang kicked the door with all her might and wanted to go into Wu Lingan's room and make sure that he didn't do anything to the lady. Bai Shuang was furious and told Wu Lingan that he is a murderer and should surrender, otherwise he will regret it and she will punish him and he will cry a lot. And then Bai Shuang noticed how Wu Lingan was giving new clothes to Tushan Xiaoyu, and the guy didn't understand what was happening there and why she came. Bai Shuang told Wu Lingan that he was a murderer and didn't even leave the body there alone, and he had dirty thoughts and what he wanted to do with the girl. Tushan Xiaoyu was surprised and asked Bai Shuang why she was a body, and she personally didn't understand anything and maybe this girl was wrong about something. Wu Lingan was also perplexed and asked Bai Shuang why he was the killer, and he couldn't understand the thoughts of this strange girl. Wu Lingan asked Tushan Xiaoyu if Bai Shuang had guessed that he was from the demonic clan, and therefore threatened him and wanted to beat them up. But Tushan Xiaoyu told Wu Lingan that of course that girl there didn't realize that he was from the demonic clan, and the lady was just mistaken. Wu Lingan asked Bai Shuang to let him explain everything to her, but she told the vile killer that she had nothing to talk about with him, and he would be punished. Bai Shuang used the Lingxiao sword technique, and she will no longer allow the guy to do evil on the territory of Xuanqian Academy, and he is a murderer. Bai Shuang used the 10,000 sword attack technique, and he would not be able to defend against all of her attacks and would not be able to match her in strength. Wu Lingan realized that he would have to go into conflict, and Bai Shuang would not leave him behind and would try to teach him a lesson, and this infuriates him. Woo Lingan dodged all of Bai Shuang's attacks and thought that she was strong and powerful, but it was not difficult for him to defend himself from all the warrior's attacks. Bai Shuang realized that it was fast, and it was not in vain that Woo Lingan was able to pass the test with robots and take all the teachers of their academy by surprise. Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan that he should not think that this is all she is capable of, and that she may have surprises in store for him in battle. Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan that he should try the sword strike into the sky, and this technique allowed her to deal with many enemies. Bai Shuang was serious, and the guy would not run away from her, and he was not a rival to a fighter like her, and Woo Lingan would regret his sins. Bai Shuang sent a bright beam straight to Woo Lingan, and this should already be enough to defeat the guy because he is not at that stage, and this is a fact. But Woo Lingan simply punched this beam and stopped the attack and thought that Bai Shuang doubted, thinking that he would easily defeat him there. Bai Shuang was completely shocked and wondered if Woo Lingan broke her Ling Xiao blade just with his body and how strong this guy is. Bai Shuang didn't notice Woo Lingan in front of her, and where did he go because he was just standing in front of her and she wanted to hit him with her blade. And at that very second, Woo Lingan appeared behind Bai Shuang and struck her with his hand to erase her memory, and she herself forced her to do it. Bai Shuang fell to the floor and lost consciousness, and Woo Lingan realized that he had aimed a blow at her and could not do otherwise. Lingan asked for forgiveness and said that he could not allow the girl to reveal his identity, and he had to do it, and she forced. Tu Shan Xiaoyu told Woo Lingan that he even had to use this technique, and she didn't know that he could use a rare technique. The so-called memory erasing punch is a special method in which the force is concentrated in the palm, and Woo Lingan knows the punch. Tu Shan Xiaoyu said that this blow affects a person's brain and erases his memories, and this blow must be executed so clearly. Tu Shan Xiaoyu said that in simple words we can say that this is a blow to the head, until complete loss of memory, and this is clearly fiction. Tu Shan Xiaoyu told Woo Lingan that while Bai Shuang is unconscious, they need to quickly take her back, otherwise they will definitely have problems. Woo Lingan took Bai Shuang with him and thought that she was a good girl, but in vain. She thought that he was a villain and was harming everyone he knew. Woo Lingan started jumping on the rooftops so that no one would notice how he was carrying Bai Shuang with him. Otherwise, they would ask them a lot of questions. Woo Lingan found a room and thought that it seems that Bai Shuang was settled somewhere there, and she should not be offended by him, and he does not wish her harm. Bai Shuang began to come to her senses and asked Woo Lingan what happened to her, and she should find out all the information and remember everything. But Woo Lingan again struck with his hand to erase the memory, and Bai Shuang lost consciousness, and he realized that she should not have woken up yet. Woo Lingan calmed down and exhaled and was almost exposed, and he immediately took action against Bai Shuang. And she is suffering because of her anxiety. But Woo Lingan thought that there was one problem, and he couldn't understand one thing, and only Bai Shuang could answer his questions. Lingan couldn't find the place where this girl lives and who can help him in his search. He also doesn't know and therefore relies only on himself. Woo Lingan continued to wander the streets with his girlfriend, and some guy stood in the corner and looked at Lingan's brother and what the guy was doing there. It was Tian, and he couldn't understand what the relationship was between Woo Lingan and Bai Shuang, and the guy was still looking for his girlfriend's room on their territory. Woo Lingan found one room and opened the door and decided to go there, and his intuition never let him down, and he is again absolutely confident. Woo Lingan put Bai Shuang on the bed and thought that she suffered many times today and should rest and gain strength, and this is important. Woo Lingan realized that only this room was empty and it looked like Bai Shuang was already living there, and he didn't want to hurt her, and it was all by accident. Bai Shuang began to come to her senses and asked the guy next to her where she was, and she didn't remember anything and had to remember everything. But at that very second, Woo Lingan again struck with his hand to erase her memory, and Bai Shuang always wakes up at the wrong time, and this interferes with them. Woo Lingan asked Bai Shuang for forgiveness, but he really can't let her know his identity, and then she will throw a tantrum today. And although Woo Lingan has never used a blow to erase memory on one person 3 times in a row, he hopes that the lady is okay. Lingan is sorry that everything turned out this way, but it's still better than if his identity was revealed and his whole family suffered because of it. Woo Lingan was thinking, and it seems like Bai Shuang is a girl, but the room is such a mess, and maybe she never cleans the house and it's dark. Woo Lingan looked to the side and realized that he had to do this thing to the end, and then he would calm down and there would be no questions for him. Woo Lingan noticed that he left footprints in the room, and his shoes are very dirty, and he did not notice this before, and he should be careful. Lingan found a mop and decided that he should clean up the mess, and then no one would have any complaints against him, and who would do it? if not himself. Woo Lingan was wiping the floor with a mop, and you can't leave any traces, and Bai Shuang should forget about him. And the fact that he is so connected with demons. Lingan noticed that there were also footprints there. And there were footprints there. And he would clean up her room, and when she woke up, she would be so happy. At this time, a guy from Xuantian Academy was sitting in the yard and thinking about the next steps and what to do with Woo Lingan, and he interferes with them. And then the guy heard a rustling in the grass and decided that someone was watching him there, and they thought that he wouldn't guess about it. And it's so strange. The guy from Xuantian Academy told the stranger that since he came there, why was he hiding, and let him come out and they will discuss everything with him. And a cat jumped out of the grass, and the guy realized that he was worrying in vain and it was an ordinary cat, and he thought that he was being watched secretly at night. But suddenly a man appeared from the pond and told the guy that he was cool and the best from the generation of the Xiao clan, and he found him, and that's great. The guy told the man that nothing could be hidden from his eye and thought why he had to hide so much to meet, and the guy was stupid. The guy said that they will get down to business and he wants him to help him get rid of one newcomer and he will never bother him idle. The guy asked the guest, but why would he help him? And what benefit would he have if he helped him get rid of this guy? And this is important. The man told the guy that if he helps, he promises that he will support him in the election of the next head of the clan, and he will not forget about the help. The guy agreed with his friend and asked him to tell him who he needed to deal with quickly and without problems, and he wanted to find out the name of the culprit in their case. The man told the guy that he had already met the culprit, and this was the same Woo Lingan, and he passed all the tests at Xuantian Academy. The guy remembered this guy, and this is the impudent guy who loves to attract attention to himself, and he definitely will not forget about the impudent guy. The man told the guy that he would falsify the lot a little, and during the tests he would accidentally kill Woo Lingan, and then everyone would be happy. The guy told his colleague that he would do it without any problems, but he must not forget about the promise, and then they will live in harmony. But the teacher asked the guy to wait, and he wants to say something else, and he must listen to all the information, and it will definitely interest him. The guy listened to the words of the teacher of Xuantian Academy and asked his friend what else he wants to tell him, and he should hurry up, and there are things waiting for him. The teacher at Xuantian Academy told the guy that there is an important matter, and he must take action, and without his help, it will be difficult for him now. And then suddenly the teacher at Xuantian Academy told his colleague that he was now being held back by a water dragon, and he couldn't get out of there. The teacher asked his friend if he could save him first, and the dragon did not want to loosen his grip, and he was tired in one place and it was exhausting. The guy doesn't understand how such people become elders of the Xiao clan and teachers of Xuantian Academy, and who chooses such idiots. The guy realized that he would have to help the teacher, otherwise the monster would not take pity on him, and he would not be able to escape, and he would feel guilty. And at that same second, the guy quickly approached the water dragon and he waved his sword, and this was enough to defeat the monster in battle. But the guy dealt a couple more blows to the water dragon and wanted nothing left of it, and no one would remember this monster. The guy realized that he coped with the task perfectly and may not even worry about it, and the academy teacher was lucky to have him next to him. The guy told the teacher at Xuantian Academy that everything was ready and he was not in danger and he could go to his room and take a break from work. The guy noticed that the teacher was falling from above, and the water dragon threw him up, and he must do one more good deed for his colleague. The guy grabbed the teacher of Xuantian Academy and did not let him get injured now, and why the teacher is so weak and does not know how to fight. The teacher at Xuantian Academy told the guy that he was a true talent, and his strength inspired confidence in the guy, and asked the old man to get down already. The guy threw the Xuantian Academy teacher into the water and thought that he could use a refreshment, but he does nonsense and does not listen to him. The guy left from there, and then the spirit began to come out of his ring, and he immediately told Xiaohuo that he should pay attention to him now. Xiaohuo asked Dan Lao what he needed, and maybe he wanted to tell him important information that would help him cope with the guy. Dan Lao told Xiaohuo that this Woo Lingan is not as simple as he thinks, and he needs to be careful with this, and then he will thank him. Dan Lao told Xiaohuo that Woo Lingan's strength at the moment is even better than in his best years, and he is unlikely to be able to defeat the only one. But Xiaohuo told Dan Lao that no one in the world can defeat him, and there are reasons for this that all other people cannot understand. Dan Lao listened to Xiaohuo's words and asked why he thought that disciple Woo Lingan could not defeat him, and it seemed that he himself was absolutely sure. The guy told Dan Lao that no one will defeat him because he is Xiaohuo, and he is a real traveler and he knows about his data. The guy said that his name really was Xiaohuo, and that he used to be an ordinary student in Japan, and his life was clearly not fantasy. But one day, due to an accident, Xiaohuo ended up in this cultivation world of theirs, and he simply did not notice the car on the road that day. Xiao Ho Ho became an unnoticed scion of the Xiao clan, and all members of the clan considered him a non-entity, and no one counted on him in their affairs. And one day, Xiao Ho Ho went out to the farm and accidentally tripped there and fell face down and realized that something softened his fall to the ground. And during one incident, Xiao Huo received a ring with the spirit of the alchemy master Dan Lao. And from that moment, a glorious path began. Xiao Ho Ho told Dan Lao that with a hero's scenario like his, any opponent is another step on the path to the hero's greatness. Dan Lao told Xiao Huo that self-confidence is good, and success largely depends on attitude, and he realized that he is ready for challenges. Xiao Huo thought that although he and Woo Lingan had no personal grievances, his death would be the logical end of a non-main character in their story. And at that moment, Woo Lingan sneezed and thought that he seemed tired and had not rested all day, and Tushan Xiaoyu was right, and he needed rest. Woo Lingan couldn't understand why he was sneezing, and maybe someone remembers him, and it's possible, but he will never know about it, and it doesn't matter. Woo Lingan realized that the most important thing is that the room has already been cleaned, and it's time for him to leave. And Tushan Xiaoyu seems to have been waiting for him at night and is nervous. Woo Lingan silently closed the door and realized that Bai Shuang definitely has potential, and she must train many times and achieve success. Woo Lingan quickly left this place and told Bai Shuang that they would see each other more than once at Xuantian Academy, and he would protect her. Finally, Woo Lingan made sure that there was definitely no one near Bai Shuang's room and she was not in danger, and he could leave and not be nervous. But a second later, Xiao Huo appeared near the room and realized that he would not disappoint the teacher of Xuantian Academy and would fulfill his request. Xiao Ho Ho wanted to go into the room because tomorrow he has a lot to do and he shouldn't be tired, and he needs to keep his body toned and in shape. Xiao Ho Ho walked into the room and couldn't believe his eyes, and what does this mean? And maybe there is a prerequisite for a person's action, and this is a mystery. Xiao Ho Ho noticed that everything was shining in his room and wondered if maybe someone was in his room, and what this person needed from him. Xiao Ho Ho walked into the bedroom and noticed that some lady was lying on his bed, and now he's definitely confused and doesn't understand anything, and it's a shock. Xiao Huo came closer to Bai Shuang and made sure that she was sleeping, but he was not expecting guests in his room, and why did she come to him at night? Xiao Huo was shocked and wondered if this cultivator girl had cleaned his room and why she went there, and he would find out soon. Xiao Ho froze in place and continued to stand in front of the girl, and she is sleeping so sweetly and you can't take your eyes off her, and she looks like an angel. And then Xiao Huo thought, isn't this girl Bai Shuang? And he saw her, and she is from Yujin Peak, and she also came to Xuantian Academy. Xiao Huo realized that it was not in vain that Bai Shuang is the dream of young cultivators, and even while sleeping she looks so beautiful and he is amazed by the lady. But Xiao Ho calmed down and already decided that now is not the time for such thoughts, and specific goals await him, and he cannot be distracted by anything. But Xiao Huo saw that the whole room was sparkling with cleanliness, and Bai Shuang was trying to remove all the garbage, and maybe she wanted to please him there. Xiao Ho thought that the girl cleaned the room in the middle of the night and lay down on his bed. And what that means? He still doesn't understand there. Xiao Huo decided that Bai Shuang was definitely in love with him. Otherwise, she would not have come to his room at night, and the lady trusts him, and this makes him happy. Xiao Huo remembered that in his past life, he read a lot of manga, and a main character like him always attracts cute girls. Xiao Huo wondered if Bai Shuang was destined to be the heroine he was destined for, and he was lucky. And he always believed that he would be lucky in his life. But Xiao Huo couldn't understand why Bai Shuang still hasn't woken up, and she sleeps a lot of time, and maybe something happened to her and it's a disaster. Dang Lao told Xiao Huo that it seems that Bai Shuang's spiritual consciousness is a little damaged, which is why she cannot recover now. Xiao Huo listened to Dan Lao's words and said that now he understands. But why did this happen to her? Because in the morning everything was fine with her. Xiao Huo said that Bai Shuang tried so hard to clean his room that she spent all her strength on it, and he would not be able to save her then. Dang Lao told Xiao Huo that he is truly as confident as a rock and still thinks that all the girls love him and are even ready to do anything. Xiao Huo asked Dan Lao not to worry, and in his previous life he did not waste time and studied many first aid methods, and he knows everything. Dan Lao told Xiao Huo that this happened in a past life, and now he is not sure that he can help Bai Shuang with anything, and he is clearly not a doctor. But Xiao Ho does not doubt his experience and told Dan Lao that he is a master of such situations, and he will be convinced of this himself and he will help the lady. Bai Shuang began to come to her senses and realized that she could not wake up for a long time and had a dream, but she could not remember it. Bai Shuang asked, Xiao Huo, what happened to her? And she couldn't remember the events. And maybe she was injured, and this is important. But Bai Shuang was in complete shock because she noticed that Xiaohuo wanted to kiss her, and she didn't know this man and he was definitely impudent. Bai Shuang hit Xiaohuo with all her might and started screaming. And Woo Lingan heard the voice of a familiar girl and realized that something seemed wrong. Bai Shuang told the impudent man that he should not come into her sight, and he would greatly regret it if he tried to kiss her the same way again. Xiaohuo told Dan Lao that Bai Shuang also already has feelings for him. But why did she beat him? And everything is confusing, and it's so strange. Dang Lao asked Xiaohuo if he thought that he was just imagining too much, and it was an illusion and his fantasy with the lady. Xiaohuo said that he realized that girls in this world are modest, and he hurried with artificial respiration, and it was too arrogant. Dang Lao asked Xiaohuo why he was so sure that Bai Shuang was so in love with him, and didn't just accidentally end up in the wrong room at night. Xiaohuo asked Dan Lao if this is not obvious, and he will explain everything to him. And this is because he is a born hero and everyone adore him. But Dan Lao asked Xiaohuo if he could wipe all the blood off his face first before saying such things, and he is an incredible dreamer. Bai Shuang left the room at this time and thought that this was very strange and why she ended up in someone else's bed, and who would explain this. Bai Shuang was thinking, and she definitely remembers that she fought with Woo Lingan then, and then forgot about everything. And she needs to strain her brains. And then Bai Shuang froze in place and realized that she remembered all these events and how could she forget? And now she definitely won't forget the events. Bai Shuang remembered what Woo Lingan had said that he uses corpses for cultivation, and learned at that moment that Woo Lingan is an evil demon. Bai Shuang did not expect that she would accidentally reveal such a huge secret there, and Woo Lingan hid from everyone that he was a demon and lied to their teachers. Bai Shuang assumed that the impudent man in the room was probably his accomplice, and Woo Lingan did not act alone and that he was planning again. Bai Shuang thought that they were daring villains who dared to enter Xuanchen Academy so brazenly, and she would prove that the guys were demons. Bai Shuang was happy and told Woo Lingan that he should wait, and very soon she would visit him and he would regret contacting her at the academy. People couldn't understand who was screaming in the middle of the night, and it seemed that it was Bai Shuang's voice, and what could she and Woo Lingan not share, and they wouldn't recognize it. The next day, all the newcomers gathered in the training arena and waited for the next instructions from the teachers and what tests await them. The girl asked her friend why the test had not yet begun, and the teachers called them there yesterday and asked them to wait there. A friend told the student that they had been waiting for so long and not a single teacher was visible, and maybe they forgot that they had to give a test. At this time, Woo Lingan was lifting the barbell and realized that he needed to train a little, and he wanted to develop his body to the limit, and this is a fact. Tushan Xiaoyu asked brother Woo Lingan not to strain himself so much, and his strength would definitely allow him to get into the elite class, and his brother was worrying in vain. But Woo Lingan listened to his friend and told Tushan Xiaoyu that he should not relax at all. Otherwise, he will not be in good shape and he will become weak. Bai Shuang was angry with Woo Lingan and thought that he was still pretending to be a great warrior there. But in fact, he was no one and had proven nothing to everyone. The student asked her friend why Bai Shuang was so worried looking at Woo Lingan, and she couldn't take her eyes off him and it seemed like something was wrong. The student asked her friend, maybe she forgot, and yesterday Bai Shuang called Woo Lingan's name so loudly, and what happened between them yesterday. Tian stood in front of the students and said that they clearly do not know the truth and can guess as much as they want, but they will not be able to find out anything anyway. The students were very interested, and she asked Tian if he really knew something, and if he could explain to them all the information about both. Tian said that Bai Shuang and Woo Lingan are connected by something more than they think. And yesterday, he learned a lot of important things about their relationship. But at that very second, Xiaohuo quickly approached Tian and didn't want this guy to tell the story about the girl and let him shut up. Xiaohuo put his sword to Tian's throat, and the guy was so scared and couldn't understand why the student was threatening him because he didn't do anything. Xiaohuo told Tian that he should stop slandering Bai Shuang now. Otherwise, everything will end badly for him, and he agreed with him. Disciple Tian fell to the ground and realized that he was lucky and it was good that he did not tell the whole story to the newcomers. Otherwise, he would lose his life for his words. The students could not understand why this guy suddenly got so angry, and he threatened Tian and did not want him to tell them the truth. The students said that it seems that this guy is the same faithful dog of Bai Shuang, and he protects her everywhere, and she entrusts all her difficult tasks. Xiaohuo told Dan Lao that Bai Shuang is his heroine, and how can she be connected with some passerby, and this is impossible, and he knows everything. Dan Lao told Xiaohuo that he is too confident in himself, and he doesn't need to attract too much attention there, and people can harm the guy. But at that moment, Teachers from the cool Xuantian Academy appeared in the training arena and asked the students to maintain peace and quiet. All the students fell silent and looked at the teachers of Xuantian Academy, and they all stayed so late and could call them at a later time. The students have seen the bright lights in the training arena, and the mentors want to impress them so that the students can see what they are all capable of. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that the third stage will begin now and they should be prepared for any difficulties with the task. Mei Yanli said that at this stage there are fights without rules, and the goal is to evaluate their fighting skills and then distribute the fighters into different classes. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that the rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, would personally evaluate the entire testing process, and he wanted to know. Woo Lingan told Tushan Xiaoyu that it seems that Rector Yu Tianxing managed to change his wig, and now he looks like a different person, and it's funny. Tushan Xiaoyu asked Woo Lingan to speak more quietly, and because of his long tongue, he might have even more problems with the academy. Rector Yu Tianxing gave instructions to teacher Huang Luhong, and he said that he understood and would now do what the rector asked and explain everything to them. Teacher Huang Luhong pressed the button and told the students that the third stage is a competition, and he will explain the rules to them, and they need to try. Teacher Huang Luhong said that all participants can now, without thinking for a long time, draw out their numbers for fights, and they will continue their work. The participants began to draw up their numbers to participate and realized that they were not wasting time and were ready to show their talents to this academy. Lingan was next, and he also wanted to quickly pull out the numbers and understand whether they matter or are just needed for people's amusement. Lingan put his hand in the compartment where there are numbers for participation and realized that today there was a great atmosphere in training, and everything was so calm. The guy who hates Woo Lingan prepared a number in advance to frame the participant and realized that the time had come for them. And at that very second, the guy threw a fake piece of paper towards Lingan and realized that he had carefully thought through everything in advance and would set the guy up. At that time, Lingan had just gotten his number and knew nothing about the scoundrel's plan and did not suspect what the man was planning behind his back. Lingan was surprised, and this is strange, and he took out another number, but in his hand there was another number, and there is no explanation for this case yet. Woo Lingan froze in place and thought that today everything was strange, and he could not leave a feeling of anxiety, and intuition was giving him clues today. Woo Lingan saw a piece of paper with the number 38 in his hand and did not understand what it was and how this thing ended up in his hand. And this is clearly mysticism. The guy was laughing on the sidelines at that time, and everything is going according to his plan. And this scoundrel Woo Lingan doesn't understand anything, and he doesn't have enough intelligence and brains. The Xuantian Academy teacher told Xiaohuo that he had now managed to force Woo Lingan to pull out this particular number, and he was pleased with himself. Xiaohuo asked the guy if he was sure that a broken sword would definitely not be a problem, and he needed guarantees and wanted to know his opinion. The teacher at Xuantian Academy asked Xiaohuo not to worry, and it's not for nothing that he is a mentor at this academy, and he knows his job better than them. Xiaohuo asked the teacher of Xuantian Academy to better keep quiet, and he is doing a terrible thing and should know about his decisions there is. But Xiaohuo told the teacher of Xuantian Academy that his number does not match Woo Lingan's number, and did he mix up anything today? But the Xuantian Academy teacher smiled and told Xiaohuo that he didn't understand anything, and he would clearly explain the details to him. And these are facts. The teacher at Xuantian Academy told Xiaohuo that Woo Lingan seemed to have learned some powerful technique and had strong energy emanating from him. But the teacher at Xuantian Academy told Xiaohuo that he did not specifically assign Woo Lingan to him in the first group, and that would be ridiculous. The academy teacher told Xiaohuo that first let another guy test Woo Lingan's strength, and then someone told Lingan that he was his opponent. Woo Lingan turned around and realized that it seemed his opponent had found him, and he was so confident in himself 100% that he considered him an idiot. The strong fighter told Woo Lingan that he was a weakling, and the guy hadn't even reached the stage of forming spiritual energy, and it was better for him to give up there. Woo Lingan saw his opponent and realized that this fighter was a giant, and he needed to be careful because the thug's blows could cause damage. Tian told his friend that he did not expect that their brother Woo Lingan's first opponent in the test would already be such a huge and strong fighter. A friend asked the newcomer Tian who this thug was, and he told his friend that this fighter looked extremely dangerous, and it was better for Woo Lingan to avoid blows. Tian said that this fighter's name is Wang Teju, and he is a very famous assassin and was able to defeat many strong warriors in their world. Tian said that everyone says that no one who saw Wang Teju's attack left alive, and he is such a strong opponent, and what will Woo Lingan do? Wang Teju told Woo Lingan that he had closely watched how he passed the tests before and was interested in learning everything about him. Wang Teju told Woo Lingan that he is just trash, who is innately a little stronger than others and brags about it everywhere, and it's very funny. Wang Teju slapped Woo Lingan and said that he was already at the peak of the spiritual energy formation stage, and he would immediately kill him with one blow. Tushan Xiaoyu stood next to brother Woo Lingan and told the scoundrel Wang Teju that he was an idiot. And why was he acting like an idiot now? But Woo Lingan put his hand in front of Tushan Xiaoyu and didn't want her to protect him, and she shouldn't interfere in their trial there. Wang Teju asked Woo Lingan what happened, and maybe he wants to fight with him right now, and they can have a fight if they want. The newcomers said that brother Woo Lingan was preparing for battle, and they realized that he was a very brave and courageous fighter and stood firmly on his feet there. The student said that if he had been in Woo Lingan's place, he would definitely not have fought with Wang Teju because it was life-threatening, and that's the truth. Tian asked his brother Woo Lingan to hold on, and he believes that the guy will be able to defeat such a giant because he himself has defeated so many teachers before. But suddenly Woo Lingan asked Wang Teju for forgiveness and said that his spiritual foundation was indeed too weak, and people were shocked. Tushan Xiaoyu told Woo Lingan that this is his opponent, and why is he so polite to him, and he needs to behave more aggressively and attack. Woo Lingan told Tushan Xiaoyu that he agrees with his sister 100%, but Wang Teju is right and his level is not that strong. Wang Teju told Woo Lingan that since he understands the difference in strength, let him kneel down and maybe he will let him live now. But Woo Lingan smiled and told Wang Teju that he had reasons to fight him, and he didn't want to kneel there. Woo Lingan told Wang Teju that even if he is weak, he has many reasons to fight him to the end, and he never gives up in battle. Wang Teju looked at Woo Lingan and realized that the guy was again showing everyone his character, and soon he would take his life because everyone was tired of him. Wang Teju told Woo Lingan that then he must be ready to die in the arena if he wants to die as a fighter, and he himself decided his fate. Tushan Xiaoyu was proud of brother Woo Lingan and said that what he said to his opponent Wang Teju was so cool, and everyone was rooting for him. Woo Lingan listened to Tushan Xiaoyu's words and said that she is always by his side and supports him in difficult moments, and he values their friendship. Wang Teju approached the teacher of Xuantian Academy and Xu Huo, and he wanted to ask them something, and he needed guarantees from their mentor. Wang Teju told the teacher of Xuantian Academy that the mentor himself should not forget if he kills the guy to place him in an elite class. The teacher of the Xuantian Academy asked the fighter Wang Teju not to be nervous, and their ancestor from the Xiao clan would sort everything out, and he would guarantee his success. Wang Teju said that he would show this upstart Woo Lingan his strength, and he would understand that he was in vain to show himself in front of the teachers of this academy. Xiao Huo told the teacher of Xuantian Academy that he hopes that Woo Lingan will die in the first round, and he will have enough strength to defeat her. The Xuantian Academy teacher smiled and thought that he was not sure that Woo Lingan could defeat such a strong fighter as Wang Teju. Teacher Mei Yanli said that the draw is over and the first pair of beginners enter the arena, and they must show them a masterclass. The newcomer to the Xuantian Academy was ready, and she believes in her strength and potential, and no one can defeat her with the right attitude in battle. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that the #1 participant is their newcomer Bai Shuang, and he wishes her good luck in the battle and let her show her strength. Participant number 2, Tashankao Juduan, and he asked Bai Shuang if she could change her mind, and joint cultivation would make them stronger. Tashankao Juduan asked Bai Shuang how many times should she repeat that attacks in the back do not work on her, and she doesn't even have to try. But suddenly at this moment, teacher Mei Yanli immediately hit the newcomer Tashankao Juduan on the neck and thought that the guy was an idiot, and this is a fact. Teacher Mei Yanli told Tashankao Juduan that because he was dodging, all this garbage fell on him, and does the guy ever thinks? Tashankao Juduan lay on the ground and asked teacher Mei Yanli for forgiveness, and said that this would not happen again and he had learned his lesson. Xiao Huo and the teacher at Xuantian Academy stood silently on the sidelines at this time and watched who would perform best in the competition. Xiao Huo asked if the guy dared to look at his girlfriend, and he remembered the name Tashankao Juduan, and he will regret everything soon. The Xuantian Academy teacher told Xiao Huo that he and Bai Shuang only met during trials and how quickly they became friends. Xiao Ho told the teacher at Xuantian Academy that he doesn't know anything about the fate of the main character, and that's how history is written. And that's all cool. Rector Yu Tianxing told the newcomers that this farce was enough, and they should start the duel, and the other students waited and were even tired. Teacher Mei Yanli realized that he should stop punishing the arrogant student Teshankao Juduan there for all his actions in the arena. Teshankao Juduan saw the ashes with Bai Shuang and told Rector Yu Tianxing that it was great that he decided to start testing them now. Teshankao Juduan told Bai Shuang that apparently she does not understand how strong the Heihuan sect is, and he will show strength and thus conquer her. The guy from the Heihuan sect used the illusory Teshankao technique, and he wanted to mislead Bai Shuang so that she would not defeat him in battle. Teshankao Juduan created a shadow double next to him, and he was so interested in how Bai Shuang would fight him in such conditions. Tian told them that the rapid movements created real and false clones, and the martial techniques of the Heihuan sect really surprised people. Woo Lingan asked the newcomer Tian if techniques like this Teshankao Juduan really impressed him, and he didn't think it was so cool. Teshankao Juduan told Bai Shuang that while she cannot now distinguish his real image, she will definitely not defeat him and he is insidious. But Bai Shuang was very calm and thought that in any situation one can find the enemy's weakness, and Teshankao Juduan is so overrated. Bai Shuang looked at Teshankao Juduan's legs and realized that one of the three silhouettes was clear, and this was the original student, and everything was simple. And at that moment, Bai Shuang hit Teshankao Juduan in a tender spot and asked the guy if he really thought that she was an idiot and a fool. Teshankao Juduan told Bai Shuang that hitting him in this place was so mean, and he didn't expect her to do that because he fights cool. But Teshankao Juduan smiled and thought that Bai Shuang still underestimated him and thought that he could weaken him with one blow. And at that very second, Teshankao Juduan immediately took out a hard plate from there and told Bai Shuang that he had experienced this so many times and was ready. Bai Shuang was indignant and told Teshankao Juduan that this is not a reason for pride, and she is amazed that he talks about his feet. But then Bai Shuang noticed that Teshankao Juduan wanted to attack her and thought that she should be vigilant and protect herself from him. Teshankao Juduan told Bai Shuang that if she does not accept his proposal, then she should not blame him for ruining her face. Teshankao Juduan told Bai Shuang that now she would suffer, and he warned her that they would become stronger together, but she did not appreciate. Teshankao Juduan continued to attack Bai Shuang, but she deftly dodged all the fighter's blows and had no difficulty in the battle at all. Lingan asked if it would have been easier to immediately attack the lady with a spirit ball, and the higher the level of cultivation, the further he directs her. And for people like Woo Lingan, the formation of spiritual energy is already a success that they can form energy outside the body, and they must remember. Woo Lingan thought that Tushan Xiaoyu and his father are really strong, and they cultivate energy and they can defeat any enemies always. Tushan Xiaoyu looked at Woo Lingan and couldn't understand what he was thinking about, and he was happy with something and didn't want to talk about his thoughts. Teshankao Juduan attacked Bai Shuang, and why did she so easily and without straining defend herself from his blows? And he thought that he was nimble. Bai Shuang asked Teshankao Juduan if he is really capable of this and has nothing to offer besides this. And is he a little weak? Teshankao Juduan thought that this farce should end, and he will not feel sorry for Bai Shuang, and she herself provokes him to this attack. Teshankao Juduan told Bai Shuang that she should not think that she can underestimate him and not be afraid of his attacks and is very dangerous. But Bai Shuang asked Teshankao Juduan to stop talking to her, and he wanted to teach her a lesson, but he couldn't even hurt her in their fight. And then Teshankao Juduan directed his attack towards Bai Shuang, and he wants to know if he can defend himself even from such an attack now. Teshankao Juduan told his friend that he would show her his control over spiritual energy, and she didn't even imagine it there. Teshankao Juduan told Bai Shuang that his control over personal spiritual energy exceeded all her expectations and he succumbed to her. Bai Shuang froze in place and thought that Teshankao Juduan was right, and she thought that the idiot was not capable of anything, but he was so dangerous. Bai Shuang barely dodged and defended herself from the enemy's spiritual attack, and Teshankao Juduan really knows how to control her energy. Teshankao Juduan smiled and was happy, and thought that he believed in his skills and Bai Shuang should have become her faithful wife before. Bai Shuang noticed that Teshankao Juduan was directing his strength in different directions, and he was not lying when he spoke about his skills and strength. Teacher Huang Luhong asked if Teshankao Juduan could cultivate and channel spiritual energy so easily, and it was a shock. Teacher Mei Yanli told Teacher Huang Luhong that all the secret techniques of the Heihuan sect are truly unique, and he is amazed by their fighter. Tian said that this is a special technique of the Heihuan sect, and it allows you to create threads using a small amount of spiritual energy. Woo Lingan listened to everything, and Tian said that their threads control large flows of energy for attacks. and Lingan said that this impresses everyone. Bai Shuang realized that now she will take the enemy seriously, and Taishan Kao Juduan is still from the Heihuan sect, and he knows their secrets. Bai Shuang is absolutely 100% sure that she can pass the test without even worrying, but she must not lose concentration in battle. But Bai Shuang thought that being forced to use her sword in battle against such a vile person was a real humiliation. And at that very second, Bai Shuang cut into pieces all the combat and dangerous energies of Taishan Kao Juduan with her sword, and he will not defeat her in their battle. Bai Shuang struck back at Taishan Kao Juduan, and he also should not believe that he was able to scare her with his techniques there. The girl again struck Taishan Kao Juduan's tender spot, and he slowed down and stopped moving his spiritual energy in battle. Taishan Kao Juduan still felt the pain, and Bai Shuang has power in her hands and can hit the weak spot of the guys with all her might. Taishan Kao Juduan realized that Bai Shuang easily penetrated his spirit ball attack and she has great potential and is a tough fighter. Bai Shuang stood next to Taishan Kao Juduan and he realized that she was not in vain his chosen one, and he chose her and believes that their wedding will soon take place. And at that moment, Taishan Kao Juduan fell to the ground and could no longer defend himself from Bai Shuang's attacks, and she aimed at it. Woo Lingan was surprised by how Taishan Kao Juduan controls all this, and it seems that Bai Shuang was able to find his weak point in a couple of minutes. Teacher Mei Yanli said that Taishan Kao Juduan is no longer able to continue the fight, and their battle is over, and the winner of the round is Bai Shuang. All the spectators were delighted with Bai Shuang's performance and said that Yujin Peak is incredible as expected and she is their top favorite. Bai Shuang was glad that finally Taishan Kao Juduan shut up and would no longer disturb her, and the impudent person pestered her too often. Woo Lingan saw everything with his own eyes and said, "This is what battles between cultivators look like," and he was always interested in knowing them. And at that same second, suddenly a girl appeared among the spectators and there was a huge piece of meat in her hands and she also wants to see all the fights. Woo Lingan immediately noticed this girl, and she is different from other people and attracts attention to herself, and he is not yet familiar with her. The girl was delighted and thought, "Is it really Bai Shuang?" And she knows her, and she is the first female cultivator of her generation and cool. The girl said that if she were even half as strong as Bai Shuang, she would be able to succeed and defeat the enemy. Woo Lingan said that this girl is so big and thought that he didn't think that girls could eat so many dishes, and now she has an appetite. Tushan Xiaoyu also looked at this girl and was surprised. And she is not stupid and knows how this lady was able to attract Woo Lingan right there. Tushan Xiaoyu wondered if brother Woo Lingan likes them very big, and now she will know about it, and soon she will take action. The girl noticed Woo Lingan and he didn't stop looking at her meat, and maybe he's hungry and she should find out about it, and it looks like he's kind. The girl asked Woo Lingan if he wanted to try it, and she accidentally noticed that he was looking at her, and she could give it to him. Tushan Xiaoyu saw Woo Lingan drooling and thought that it seemed like we were not talking about food at all and that it was also strange and stupid. Woo Lingan told the girl that he was uncomfortable, but to be honest, he had been training hard since yesterday and was a little hungry today. Tushan Xiaoyu froze in surprise and realized that it seemed like it was all about food, and she was mistaken in her opinion, and her friend was kind. Tushan Xiaoyu started to get nervous and bite her nails, and she doesn't know what to do, and really, she couldn't please Woo Lingan in those days. Tushan Xiaoyu saw Woo Lingan and the girl eating food, and she was terrified, and she doesn't even know Woo Lingan's brother as well as all the strangers. Teacher Mei Yanli asked his colleagues to take away Taishan Kao Juduan, and all newcomers should prepare for the next fight, and they believe in the fighters. Taishan Kao Juduan was carried away on a stretcher, and he couldn't even stand up and realized that Bai Shuang's blow was strong and accurate, and he felt everything. Woo Lingan told the girl that he didn't even ask her name and was already eating this dish with her, and he apologized for his manners. The girl listened to Woo Lingan's words and realized that he is a cultured guy and he behaves like a gentleman. And she appreciates such kind people so much. The girl told Woo Lingan that her name is Murang Chan, and she entered Xuanqian Academy last year and knows a lot about teachers. Tushan Xiaoyu asked Murang Chan if she really entered their Xuanqian Academy last year and studied all the techniques for 1 year. Murang Chan listened to Tushan Xiaoyu's words, and she asked her friend if she was older than them, and came to watch the battle of the newcomers today. But Murang Chan said that in fact, because of poor results, she was left for the 2nd year, so she is participating in the 3rd stage there. Woo Lingan told Murang Chan that she told important information, and they learned that students can be left for a 2nd year at the academy. Murang Chan told her friends that if she fails this test, she may be expelled from Xuanqian Academy altogether, and she is on the verge. Tushan Xiaoyu told Murang Chan that she eats as if she is not at all worried about her participation in the test, and she is not worried about herself. But newcomer Tian told Tushan Xiaoyu that she simply doesn't understand anything now, and he can tell her everything if she wants to know. Tushan Xiaoyu listened to the words of disciple Tian and thought that it would be great if he told who Murang Chan really is, and this is important. Tian said that Murang Chan is the eldest of a famous family of alchemists, and her family is respected throughout the continent, and they are smart. Murang Chan has developed a unique approach to alchemy, and she always prepares dishes from the ingredients for pills and does not lose their properties. Woo Lingan was surprised and asked disciple Tian if this really meant that the meat he ate with Murang Chan was also an elixir. Woo Lingan told sister Murang Chan that he thought it was ordinary meat and asked for forgiveness for eating so greedily, and he was very hungry. Murang Chan told Woo Lingan that everything was fine, and he shouldn't ask her for forgiveness like that, and she was happy to treat him with her meat. Murang Chan told Woo Lingan that she cannot see and stand aside when someone is starving, and she must immediately help her friends. Woo Lingan looked closely at Murang Chan and realized that she had a very kind heart and wanted to help people, and she struck his mind. Woo Lingan realized that Murang Chan was in a great mood, and she wasn't lying to him, and she really helped strangers and gave the guy a treat. Woo Lingan told Murang Chan that this is simply incredible, and she is a miracle, and a real angel, and it's a pity that there are fewer such people in their world. Tushan Xiaoyu was furious and asked Woo Lingan to stop praising Murang Chan, and he was exaggerating her kindness and was just hungry. Friends noticed how people said that Lady Bai Shuang was coming to them, and they fought with everyone and said that they were the first to confess their love. Bai Shuang noticed in the crowd of people how Woo Lingan was standing with her friend, and he acted meanly that day, and she will not forget what he did to her there. Murang Chan approached sister Bai Shuang and said that she had admired her for a long time and could she give her an autograph and she would keep it. But Murang Chan noticed that Bai Shuang was not in the best mood, and that she was so upset because she won, and everyone was happy with the fighter. Bai Shuang gazed at Woo Lingan and wondered where a demon appeared in their Zhuantian academy and behaved like an ordinary guy. Woo Lingan and Tushan Xiaoyu were waiting for a response from Bai Shuang, and she cannot refuse the fan and must give an autograph for the sake of decency and respect. But suddenly, Bai Shuang passed by and told Murang Chan that she would not give her an autograph but would give her advice, and that friends should be chosen wisely. Murang Chan listened to Bai Shuang's advice and did not understand why she now asked her to choose her friends carefully and what they did to the warrior. Bai Shuang pointed her finger at Woo Lingan and told the scoundrel that she had not forgotten anything and would find out the truth about what happened at night and punish him. People looked at Bai Shuang and asked if there really was an intrigue between Bai Shuang and Woo Lingan and what happened at night, and Tian was right. Murang Chan asked Woo Lingan if they knew Bai Shuang so well, and she wanted to ask her friend when they met her idol. Woo Lingan told Murang Chan that he and Bai Shuang just hadn't crossed paths often before, and had crossed paths a couple of times, and they didn't know each other that well. Murang Chan asked Woo Lingan to introduce her to Bai Shuang as soon as possible, and she also wants to become as strong, and she imitates him. Teacher Mei Yanli called Murang Chan to the arena, and she will now have her next fight with her opponent, and hopes that she will show a masterclass. Teacher Mei Yanli yelled at Murang Chan and asked if she couldn't hear her name there and asked her to quickly enter the arena, and he was waiting for the lady. Teacher Mei Yanli continued to call Murang Chan, and all the people also looked around and looked for the girl, and she still did not come out. Murang Chan just now paid attention to Teacher Mei, and she asked the teacher for forgiveness, and she did not notice him, and this is her mistake. Murang Chan quickly went to the arena and asked Woo Lingan to convey her request to Bai Shuang. And this is very important for her, and she will wait for an answer. Woo Lingan agreed with Murang Chan and said that he himself would try to bring her to Bai Shuang, and she could definitely get an autograph from the idol. Tushan Xiaoyu was angry and told Woo Lingan that this Murang Chan is also very strange, and she was left for the second year at the best academy. Woo Lingan listened to her friend's words, and Tushan Xiaoyu told her brother that she would give him advice and he should not communicate with Murang Chan in the future. Woo Lingan thought and decided that the one who cares about strangers can no longer be a bad person, and he knows the character of good ladies. Teacher Mei Yanli there told Murang Chan that she should remember that this is her last chance to retake the test, and he is clearly not joking. Murang Chan listened to the words of Teacher Mei Yanli and told her mister that she knows this and will try her best, and she will not let them down. Murang Chan exhaled and realized that she must believe in her strength and she can defeat anyone, because she definitely has such intelligence. Murang Chan was serious. and decided that she must defeat the enemy, and even one victory would allow her to stay and continue her studies. Murang Chan remembered, and she would never return there and remembers all her torment, and at Zhuanchan Academy she is calm and she is happy about it. Teacher Mei Yan Li asked participant number 36 to come to them quickly, and they will start a fight with Murang Chan, and everyone is waiting for the fighter. Contestant number 36 entered the arena and realized that teacher Mei Yan Li was worrying in vain and he would not keep their spectators waiting. Murang Chan noticed her opponent, and it will not be easy for her and she must come up with a plan and take her time and be careful with the fighter. Participant number 36 was very calm, and he had already defeated many dangerous monsters in his entire life. He was not afraid. Participant number 36 was Xiao Huo, and he told teacher Mei Yan Li that he was coming to them and he should not worry so much. Teacher Mei Yan Li told the students that both sides are ready and they can start fighting, and he hopes that they will fight fairly now. Murang Chan looked intently at her opponent and knows that today no one will stop her, and she is charged with a feat and will show them the skill. Zhao Ho also studied his opponent and realized that he was lucky that he got such an opponent in the first round, and he could easily defeat her. The rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, said that this was a lady from the Murang family, and how did she end up in the test for beginners? Teacher Huang Luhong told Rector Yu Tianxing that Murang Chan had already failed almost all the tests, and therefore they should evaluate her. Teacher Huang Luhong said that even with her strongest skill in alchemy, Murang Chan ruined everything and cooked food, and this is absurd. Teacher Huang Luhong exhaled and told Rector Yu Tianxing that they had to leave Murang Chan for the second year at the academy for his success. Teacher Huang Luhong said that if Murang Chan did not win a single battle in the trials, they would send her back to the Murang family. The rector of the Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, listened to the words of the teacher, and he said that now he understood what was going on, and she should try there. Tian said that although Murang Chan can definitely cook incredibly healthy food, she herself does not have any skills, and this is a fact. Woo Lingan listened to the words of the newcomer, and Tian said that it seems that this fight is hopeless for Murang Chan, and she will not be able to defeat her opponent. Teacher Mei Yan Li told the students that he noticed their attitude, and they were both ready, and they would not waste time on formalities and rules. Teacher Mei Yan Li jumped high and told the students that they were starting a fight and they should fight honestly and not harm each other so vilely. Murang Chan ran towards her opponent and decided that this time she could not lose, and she would show her maximum, and everyone would be shocked. Xiaohua thought that he didn't expect that his first opponent in their challenge would be such a cutie, and he didn't want to beat up the lady. Xiao Ho fantasized and thought that, judging by his wealth of experience, he would easily crush his opponent and would not torture her because the girl was weak. Xiao Ho thought that then he would be able to realize all his ideas and no one would stop him, and all the teachers would understand what his potential was. Xiao Huo thought that later Bai Shuang would definitely be impressed by his strength and rush into his arms and become part of his harem, and it's all wonderful. But at that moment, Murang Chan distracted Xiao Huo and said that he fantasizes too often and completely forgot that she was standing in front of him. Xiao Huo listened to Murang Chan's words and realized that he forgot that he had a test and he had to defeat the sweet lady, and he was very mistaken. And at that very second, Murang Chan delivered a powerful blow to Xiao Ho's face, and this guy completely forgot that she knows how to fight and can hit. Xiao Huo flew away a couple of meters, and Murang Chan realized that now she has power in her hands, and no one can expel her from their academies. Tushan Xiaoyu asked Woo Lingan what kind of idiotic smirk is on the guy's face, and does he really think that she will hide his stupidity now? Woo Lingan told Tushan Xiaoyu that the guy seemed to remember something joyful in the battle and got distracted, and he should be concentrated there. Dan Lao asked Xiao Ho why he was standing still, and he thought again and he should not be eliminated in the first round from the academy. Xiao Huo asked Dan Lao not to worry, and he is the main character, and clearly cannot lose in the test, and he must see his actions. Murang Chan swung again and realized that this was her chance to defeat and beat her opponent, and he should not be offended by her, because this is a tournament. Xiao Ho noticed Murang Chan's attack and thought that it was in vain that his sister wrote him off early, and he had prepared a surprise for her and could immediately surprise her. And at that moment, Xiao Huo tightly grabbed Murang Chan's hand and easily defended himself from her attack. And now he will fight with her so seriously. Murang Chan was surprised, and Xiao Huo told his sister that he was sure that the same attacks would not work on him twice and let him remember. After these words, Xiao Huo struck Murang Chan and thought that none of the students at Xuantian Academy could ever compare with him. Murang Chan was thrown a couple of meters and she felt the power of the guy. And her opponent is dangerous and she must fight the fighter very carefully. Murang Chan was angry and continued to attack Xiao Huo and believed that she could hit the guy with a powerful blow and he would lose his grip. But Xiao Huo asked Murang Chan to stop attacking him, and all her usual punches would never hit him, and these are facts. Woo Lingan told Murang Chan that she should hold on, and he believes that she is capable of defeating her opponent, and he is underestimating his sister in vain. Tushan Xiaoyu looked at Woo Lingan and thought that he was clearly supporting Murang Chan, as if they had known each other for a long time. And this was a problem. Murang Chan is tired of striking Xiao Huo, and he avoids all her attacks and she must come up with another plan to defeat the insolent. And then suddenly, two huge meats appeared in Murang Chan's hands, and she told her friends that she couldn't just lose without a fight. Murang Chan began to eat two huge pieces of meat, and Xiao Huo was completely shocked by her sister's action, and she definitely had an incredible appetite. Tian said that he understood, and Murang Chan uses food with spiritual energy to temporarily increase his strength. And it is so interesting. For Lingan, everything became clear, and it means that Murang Chan does not eat from hunger, and she gets energy and strength from food, and this is her intriguing way. But Tian said that Murang Chan food is essentially pills, and if you eat so much at once, what will happen? And he doesn't know but wants to find out. Tian thought that he was worried about Murang Chan's health, and she clearly shouldn't put such a strain on her body, and he believed that she could overcome. Murang Chan continued to eat food, and she knows what she's doing and nothing will happen to her, and her friends should not worry about her, and she is a master. And at that very second, suddenly Murang Chan exploded, and Xiao Huo there cannot understand what is happening, and maybe she doesn't know what to do. Murang Chan was full of energy and strength, and now she will give Xiao Huo a fight back, and he should not have had so much faith in his skills in their battle. Woo Lingan was completely shocked by the appearance of Murang Chan, and all his colleagues are glad that they came to look at the participants, and they are the coolest. Tushan Xiaoyu was furious and thought that it was a body explosion technique or a clothing explosion technique and it attracted too many eyes. Xiao Huo was also surprised and realized that Murang Chan is a beauty. And he is so lucky that she is his opponent, and he himself wants to marry her. Xiao Huo told Murang Chan that even if she rushed there at the last moment, she still could not defeat him, and it was all true. Dang Lao asked Xiao Huo to first remove the blood from his nose, and he definitely looks like an idiot, and should not disgrace himself in front of people today. Murang Chan told her friends that even if the chances of success are low, she should try and maybe she will crush him, and he will suffer. Murang Chan ran towards Xiao Huo, and she remembers all the advice of her friends and should rely on herself and not feel sorry for herself in the test. Murang Chan delivered a powerful blow but could not reach Xiao Huo, but she does not despair and will continue to attack and achieve the impudent one. Dan Lao asked Xiao Huo to stop acting like a fool, and this girl is definitely not at the level of the spiritual energy formation stage anymore. Xiao Huo told Dan Lao that he knows what he is doing and he just has to trust him and everything will be fine and they will easily defeat their enemy there. Murang Chan told Xiao Huo that they were not finished yet and that he should not be distracted by other things. Otherwise, he might miss a blow from her. Xiao Huo told Murang Chan that he would also start fighting in earnest, and she should also be ready and he could surprise her friend with an attack. The fists of Xiao Huo and Murang Chan collided with each other and none of them wanted to give in and put pressure on each other. And this is a fact. Xiao Huo was extremely surprised and thought that Murang Chan had already become much stronger and she could not attack him very much before. Xiao Huo missed the blow and fell to the ground and doesn't want to fight anymore. And the girl is powerful and her fists are steel and caused him severe damage. Woo Lingan said that Murang Chan is so strong and she fights with the guy on equal terms without giving up anything and was able to hit him in the face there. Tushan Xiaoyu told brother Woo Lingan that Murang Chan is not that strong, and she just activated the limit of her strength temporarily. Tushan Xiaoyu said that with Murang Chan's level, she wouldn't even last 15 minutes in battle and would lose all her energy. Murang Chan could not see anything, and everything around became dusty, and she hopes that her opponent will not be able to continue the fight. And this is important. Murang Chan asked the teachers of Xuantian Academy if she had won, and she did not notice the opponent's movements, and it seemed that he had not woken up. Teacher Mei Yanli asked the rector Yu Tianxing if the guy had died and they should not allow this, and the newcomers were not ready for this. The rector of the Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, asked mentor Yanli not to rush to conclusions, and he noticed that the guy had not given up there yet. Rector Yu Tianxing told teacher Mei Yanli that the fight was not over yet, and he also thought that the guy would not rise, but he is stronger than others. Xiao Ho Ho said that he was a great traveler and was forced to use all his strength against a local girl from the academy. Murang Chan listened to her opponent's words and realized that he was strong, and all her enemies would not be able to rise after such a blow, and the guy was strong. Xiao Huohuo told Murang Chan that it looks like he will have to show her his true power, and she will be surprised and bewildered by the strength. Xiao Huo continued to stand in front of Murang Chan, and he did not believe that she could apply pressure, but now he will not give her a chance to succeed. Xiao Ho Ho laughed and was in a great mood, and he knows that all his enemies also believed that they could defeat him, but died in their battle. But then, Xiao Ho Ho began to disappear, and told Murang Chan that he would no longer feel sorry for her, and she herself asked for such an attitude towards her. Murang Chan was in shock, and her enemy all this time simply saved his strength and did not fight her to the maximum, and he managed to surprise her, and he is cool. Murang Chan thought how fast it was, and she couldn't even react to her opponent's movements. And he had become so dexterous now. Xiao Huo jumped up and wanted to slyly attack Murang Chan, and she wouldn't even be able to notice him because she was distracted by his movements. Woo Lingan asked Murang Chan to be careful, and the enemy is attacking her from above and wants to take his girlfriend by surprise, and he is a vile person. Murang Chan heard the advice of her friend Woo Lingan and looked up and immediately noticed that the enemy was close, and he wanted to destroy her with this blow. Murang Chan managed to step aside at the last moment, and Xiao Ho Ho struck a powerful blow but missed, and this is the beginning and he will finish. Murang Chan stood firmly on her feet in front of Xiao Ho Ho and was not afraid, and no one could break her will and let all the enemies try there. Xiao Ho Ho told Murang Chan that she shouldn't even think about running away and they would finish their fight, and he promised to show her. Xiao Huo used the Green Lotus and Three Flames technique, and the fighter asked Murang Chan to catch the blow and how she would defend herself from it. And at that moment there was a roar, and everything around Murang Chan exploded with a bang, and Xiao Huo dealt a heavy blow to her and wanted to injure her. Murang Chan screamed, but she will never give up and does not want to be kicked out of Zhuantian Academy, and she is used to the whole situation. Woo Lingan was worried and hoped that Murang Chan did not suffer serious injuries there now and could quickly return to her fight. Murang Chan almost lost her clothes from Xiao Huo's blow, and she knows that if she doesn't come up with a brilliant plan, the guy will destroy her right away. All the newcomers were in complete shock and said how beautiful this girl was, but more precisely, they wanted to say that it was an incredibly strong technique. Woo Lingan didn't understand the reason why it suddenly became dark, and maybe it had something to do with the newcomer's attack, and it was strong and blinded them. But in fact, Tushan Xiaoyu covered Woo Lingan's eyes with her hand, and she asked her brother not to look there, and it's not so interesting for him. Teacher Huang Luhong told Rector Yu Tianxing that he didn't expect that this guy has a special green lotus flame, and this technique is cool. The rector of the Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, told Mentor Luhong that it seems that the outcome of the battle has already been decided, and the girl will not cope in battle. Xiao Ho Ho was 100% confident in himself and thought that it was in vain that this girl did not give up, and she could get seriously injured in battle. Xiao Ho mocked Murang Chan and asked his opponent if she still didn't give up, and what she hoped for was unclear to him. Murang Chan told Xiao Huo that he can do anything, but he can't make her give up, and she will show him a masterclass now. And then Murang Chan took out a bottle and decided that it would give her strength, and she was unshakable, and all success awaits precisely such brave fighters. Murang Chan drank this drink and thought that she would gain all the energy, and then Xiao Huo would regret not leaving earlier and staying. And at that moment, Murang Chan suddenly became aggressive, and she seemed to be filled with strength and ready to fight to the end with the villain. Xiao Huo was surprised and noticed that Murang Chan had become much better and stronger, and how she was able to gain strength only with the help of the drink. Murang Chan ran towards Xiao Ho, and now he is doomed, and he will feel all her technique, and her blows will cause colossal damage. Murang Chan dealt many blows, and one of them should hit her opponent because soon he will get tired, and then she will be able to hit him. Murang Chan continued to attack Xiao Huo, and why did this guy think that she could not do anything with him and doubted her? The rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, asked the teacher if this girl had gone completely crazy and was attacking mercilessly in battle. Woo Lingan said that Murang Chan's aura increased sharply, and had she really broken through her limit and was able to survive as much as possible from her body. Tushan Xiaoyu asked Woo Lingan how this was possible, and she did not believe at all that Murang Chan would be able to repel Xiao Huo in this battle. Tushen Xiaoyu said that Murang Chan had already used pills to activate her body's strength, and she fought on equal terms with the enemy. Tushen Xiaoyu said that now, Murang Chan is also trying to break through the limit of his capabilities, and amazes his imagination. Tushen Xiaoyu told brother Woo Lingan that now Murang Chan in her battle is completely burning her life and she is in danger, and this is all a fact. Murang Chan, at this time, thought that she could not lose and would definitely not give up, and she did not care what injuries she might receive during the battle. But Xiao Huo was still defending himself from Murang Chan's powerful attacks, and he said that he had confronted many monsters and defeated them all. Xiao Huo smiled and told Murang Chan that if she herself couldn't stop there, then she should blame herself for what happened to her. Xiao Huo used the Green Lotus technique, and Murang Chan was very mistaken when she believed in herself, and it was an illusion and her fantasies. And at that very second, an explosion occurred, and Dan Lao hopes that Xiao Huo will not lose his mind in the process and controls his emotions there. Murang Chan flew to the side and thought that she was unlucky that she had encountered a strong opponent in the first round, and he did not want to give up. Xiao Ho was proud of himself, and Murang Chan was to blame for deciding to fight him, because she promised him that she would show him a masterclass there. Teacher Huang Luhong told his colleagues that this fight could lead to death, and he was worried about the health of student Murang. The rector of the Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, asked teacher Mei Yanli what he was waiting for and asked him to quickly stop the fight and they should help. Teacher Mei Yanli told Rector Yu Tianxing that he understood him and he would now stop the fight and not allow their student to get hurt there. Xiao Hua used the Green Lotus Whirlwind technique and realized that he would not leave the girl alone, and she stood in front of him and would not defend herself. Teacher Mei Yanli quickly walked towards the fighters and asked them to quickly stop the fight, and he did not want them to continue fighting now. But Teacher Mei Yanli was horrified and realized that he was late, and it was necessary to stop the fighters a little earlier, and he dealt a fatal blow to her. Teacher Mei Yanli looked at Murang Chan and decided that this was the end, and she had no other choice, and she was doomed, although she did not deserve it all. Murang Chan remembered how her father threw the food she had created on the floor and broke all the dishes, and he was extremely unhappy and angry with her. The father told his daughter that their Murang family is a family of alchemists, but she did not live up to expectations and dishonored their entire family with stupid recipes. But Murang Chan told her father that her dishes also have the same pill effects and why the family will not go beyond alchemy. But the father slapped Murang Chan in the face and said that their alchemy should remain alchemy, and these ridiculous dishes only dishonor the name of the family. The guy asked his father if they could send Murang Chan to Xuantian Academy, and if the academy doesn't train her, then nothing will help her. The sister told her father that in this case, Murang Chan could be married to some gentleman from another family, and she would be happy. Family members told Murang Chan that she should get out of their house and she is a disgrace to their family, and she is worthless, and her father is right in everything. The sisters asked Murang Chan not to come into their sight again, and they hate her, and all her results are shameful and what kind of person she is. Murang Chan then clenched her fist tightly and thought that her entire family did not understand that her dishes could also affect their bodies. Murang Chan decided that day that she would prove that her dishes were in no way inferior to pills, and her family would understand that they doubted her in vain. But now, Murang Chan realized that in the end nothing has changed, and she knows that the family was right, and she is not capable of anything and is weak. Murang Chan closed her eyes and was ready to go to the other world and die in battle in the arena as a true warrior, and let her be remembered there. But suddenly someone stopped Xiao Huo's attack and prevented the guy from harming Murang Chan, and he must find an equal opponent now. Xiao Huo was very surprised, and he was sure that he would finish with the lady, and who dared to interfere with his plans, and this is against all the rules. It was Woo Lingan, and Murang Chan was at a loss, and asked Brother Lingan how he managed to protect her from the deadly technique. Woo Lingan told Xiao Huo that Murang Chan is a good person, and he should not harm her, and she does not deserve such torment now. Woo Lingan told Xiao Huo that if he tried to kill Murang, he would do everything to stop him, and would not allow him to harm the lady. Xiao Huo realized that he can't pull out the black sword, and this guy is really very strong, and he doesn't let him attack his girlfriend. Xiao Huo called Woo Lingan a daredevil and asked if he himself was not afraid of him and was ready to risk his health and fight him to the death. But Teacher Mei Yanli appeared in the arena and asked the students to stop conflicting and let them all leave the arena, and this fight of theirs is over. Teacher Mei Yanli told the newcomers that Xiao Huo won this round of the fight and he should wait for his opponent on the side. Xiao Ho thought that it was easy, and Murang Chan is not his enemy, and he is waiting for the battle with Woo Lingan to find out what this impudent man is capable of. Xiao Ho took his sword and began to leave the arena, and decided that now teacher Mei Yanli saved Woo Lingan's life. Otherwise, he would have sorted it out theirs. Xiao Ho told Woo Lingan that he must win the next battle, otherwise he will not be able to finish him off with his own hands and let him remember. Woo Lingan told Xiao Ho that he would try to pass the first stage, and then they would come face to face with him and the strongest would win. Tushan Xiaoyu told brother Woo Lingan that this guy was threatening them, but he still answered so patiently, and why didn't he beat him for it? Woo Lingan was surprised and asked Tushan Xiaoyu if he really answered this guy so softly, and he himself didn't pay attention to it and made a mistake. And then Woo Lingan and Tushan Xiaoyu noticed how Murang Chan began to cough, and they realized that they both should not argue with each other. Woo Lingan asked Murang Chan if she was okay, and maybe she needed help and she should say what was bothering her, and they would find the reason. But Murang Chan said thank you to brother Woo Lingan for saving her, and without him, she would have lost her life, and she will remember it all. Murang Chan told her friends that it's a pity that even if she gives her maximum there, she cannot win a single fight and she has nothing. And then Murang Chan continued to cough and could not finish her thought, and she scared her friends and they did not know what was happening to her. But suddenly at that moment Murang Chan vomited, and she realized that she could no longer tolerate this unpleasant feeling. But now she is better. Woo Lingan was terrified and asked Murang Chan what happened to her and asked people to bring healing pills, and one of the disciples was injured. Tushan Xiaoyu agreed with Woo Lingan and said that she would immediately bring medicinal pills for Murang Chan, and everything would be fine with her. But Murang Chan asked her friends not to worry and said that she was fine and did not need medicine there and did not have any injuries. Murang Chan told her friends that she simply overate, and because of this she vomited and she will no longer eat so many dishes before fights. Tushan Xiaoyu was angry and told Murang Chan that she could stop pretending to spit blood and scare all her best friends. Woo Lingan suggested that Murang Chan help her get down from the arena, and she needed to rest because she was stressed and she shouldn't think there. Murang Chan said thank you to brother Woo Lingan, and he helped her a lot, and she was lucky that she met him like that at Xuanchen Academy today. But when Woo Lingan did not expect this, teacher Mei Yanli appeared in front of him in the arena and asked the guy where he was going now. Mei Yanli's teacher told Woo Lingan that it was his battles now and he should stay there if the guy wanted to advance to the next stage of testing. Teacher Mei Yanli told Woo Lingan that his opponent is Wang Teju, and he must fight him in the arena to find out who is stronger. Woo Lingan asked Tushan Xiaoyu to take Murang Chan downstairs and help her with everything, and now she needs their support, and they will not leave her there. Tushan Xiaoyu told brother Woo Lingan that she understood his request and Murang Chan wished her best friend, and she believes that he will defeat the enemy. Tushan Xiaoyu was indignant and doesn't know why she should take care of this Murang Chan today because Woo Lingan doesn't know her that well either. After a while, teacher Mei Yanli asked both sides to be ready, and they will start sparring and determine which of them is better. And this is intriguing. Woo Lingan knows that all the teachers at Xuanchen Academy clearly think that he does not have a single chance to defeat Wang Teju in a fight now. Wang Teju asked Woo Lingan if he was still standing there, and that meant that he had already given up even his last chance to survive, and that was stupid. Woo Lingan thought that Wang Teju was talking too much, and soon he would show the fighter all his skills and try to impress him with his technique. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that the battle had begun and asked only to follow all the rules and respect each other first of all there. Wang Teju hit the ground and realized that he had long wanted to have fun. And it's good that the draw brought him together with the impudent Woo Lingan, and he will regret it. Wang Teju told Woo Lingan that since he himself decided to fight with him, he would have to send him to the next world, and he warned the scoundrel. Tian said that this iron pillar is incredibly heavy on its own, and Wang Teju's attack is a blow that no one can withstand in a fight. Murang Chan is worried and told her friends that she hopes that nothing will happen to their brother Woo Lingan and that Wang Teju will not harm his friend. Tushan Xiaoyu told Murang Chan that she simply doesn't know exactly how strong Woo Lingan is, and it's not for nothing that all the teachers are afraid to fight him. Tushan Xiaoyu told Murang Chan that no attack would knock down Woo Lingan and he was ready to withstand any load and fought with the warriors. Woo Lingan stood right in front of the fighter Wang Teju and noticed that he was holding an iron pillar in his hand, and it looked like this pillar was the main weapon. Woo Lingan could not understand what kind of technique this was and how Wang Teju wanted to attack him, and he was behaving strangely, and maybe he had some kind of plan in mind. Wang Tieju took a deep breath of air and thought that Woo Lingan was not at all lucky that he got such a strong warrior in the first round. And at that very second, Wang Tieju became aggressive and powerful, and he immediately tore off his clothes and was 100% charged for battle, and he was cool. Woo Lingan noticed that Wang Tieju was glowing, and it looked like he was using a rare technique of his sect to attack, which he knew nothing about. Wang Tieju stood firmly on his feet and thought that Woo Lingan no longer had a single chance to defeat him. And why then did he agree to their fight? But when no one expected this, Wang Tieju put on a strange outfit, and all the people could not explain the fighter's behavior, and he was some kind of idiot. And at that moment, Wang Tieju began to dance and use the Iron Pillar dance technique, and wanted to shock Woo Lingan with his attack. Woo Lingan was amazed and frozen in place, and he expected anything but this. And what is Wang Tieju doing? And it looks like he lost his mind in battle. All the spectators were in complete shock and did not believe their eyes, and they all thought that Wang Tieju was a serious fighter who had defeated so many times. Newcomer Tian said that it turns out that Wang Tieju simply causes such nausea that it is impossible to resist and thus wins. Teacher Huang Luhong said that using such a technique that disgusts everyone is a disgrace for Xuantian Academy, and he is stupid. But the rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, called all the people in this place fools, and the disgustingness of the fighter Wang Tieju is an illusion. Teacher Huang Luhong listened to the words of the rector Yu Tianxing and thought that he did not understand anything from his words and how this would help the fighter win. The rector of the Xuantian Tianxing Academy asked teacher Huang Luhong if he really didn't notice that there was something wrong with other people, and it was a shock. Woo Lingan thought that how bad it is for him to look at this and why he was fought with such an idiot and doesn't know how to defeat Wang Tieju. And at that moment when Woo Lingan was distracted, Wang Tieju quickly jumped towards him and wanted to attack him with an iron pillar and destroy him. Wang Tieju struck a powerful blow with his iron pillar and wanted to get rid of Woo Lingan once and for all and fulfill his teacher's request. But Woo Lingan deftly managed to step aside, and Wang Tieju told the guy that he would not run away from him, and in any case he would catch up and punish him. Wang Tieju ran towards Woo Lingan and realized that no one could compare with him in skill and power. And if he were the guy, he would have prayed. Wang Tieju used the Iron Pillar Whirlwind technique, and he definitely would not allow Woo Lingan to escape, and he signed his own death sentence there. Newcomer Tian and his friends cried and said that they could no longer look at Wang Tieju there, and what a terrible reception this was from a fighter. The student said that he was about to throw up, and now he understood why all the fighters could not defeat Wang Tieju, and it was simply inconvenient to fight with him. Murang Chan told Tushan Xiaoyu that she understood everything, and in vain. All their teachers admired Wang Tieju so much, and there is definitely nothing in this guy. Tushan Xiaoyu was surprised and asked Murang Chan to explain her thought, and then she could understand it, and she spoke to her in riddles. Murang Chan said that even if Wang Tieju's movements are terrible, they cannot cause such severe illness, and he has secrets. Murang Chan said that in fact, Wang Tieju's actions are just a distraction, and the real trick is a poison secreting pillar. Wang Tieju told Woo Lingan that now it is too late, and their entire ring is shrouded in his poisonous smoke and victory will be his, and he is confident. Woo Lingan covered his nose and thought that he should think about how to get out of this situation, and fighting with Wang Tieju was disgusting for the fighters. Tushan Xiaoyu told her friend that using poison secretly like this Wang Tieju is vile, and it's a pity he won't be disqualified for these techniques. Murang Chan told Tushan Xiaoyu that she absolutely agrees with her 100%, and such fighters should not be allowed to participate in this. Wang Tieju told the newcomers that in the arena of life and death, he knows that any methods are acceptable and none of all the teachers have any complaints. The Xuantian Academy teacher looked at the students' fight and was very pleased and realized that it was not in vain that he hired Wang Tieju as a killer, and he is cool. The teacher at Xuantian Academy told Xiaohuo that even he almost got caught. And Wang Tieju is so cool, and he was able to influence everyone there. But Xiaohuo told the teacher of Xuantian Academy that it seems to him that he too has already been caught, and that's why there's nonsense going on in his brain now. Wang Tieju dealt dangerous blows and told Woo Lingan that he would die in agony, and no one would protect him and should not hope for their pity. Woo Lingan thought that his body did not listen to him and his head hurt so much, and Wang Tieju was able to bring his ideas to life and influenced him immediately. Woo Lingan thought that Wang Tieju would now strike with force and knew nothing about his poison and cunning helps him. Wang Tieju told Woo Lingan that he could no longer use even 10% of his energy there, and why then was he rebuffing him? Wang Teju told Woo Lingan that he would quickly relieve him of the pain and would not torment the guy for long, because he had the courage to go out there. Wang Teju hit Woo Lingan on the head with all his might with his iron pillar and said that he wondered how he could withstand such a blow. Lingan was in a lot of pain and suffered from Wang Teju's attack, and he must figure out a way to find an antidote to this fighter's poison. Wang Teju was pleased with himself, and he told everyone that the guy had no chance and he would easily defeat him in battle, and he didn't even hurt him. Wang Teju used the random iron pillar technique and hit Woo Lingan's body so many times, and this guy will get hurt. But Woo Lingan heroically endured all the powerful blows of Wang Teju, and did not even lose consciousness and thought that everyone was right, and his opponent was cool. Newcomer Tian did not expect that brother Woo Lingan would lose so terribly and devastatingly, and he was unable to strike a single blow against the enemy Wang Teju. Murang Chan told brother Woo Lingan that he should stop fighting and save his health, and Tushan Xiaoyu is also worried. Tushan Xiaoyu shouted at the teachers of Xuanqin Academy and asked them to quickly stop the fight, and don't they see that her friend is bad? But teacher Mei Yanli told Tushan Xiaoyu that Woo Lingan still has the strength to resist, and the fight cannot be stopped, and he believes in him. Woo Lingan still couldn't respond to all of Wang Teju's blows, and it's not so easy to defend against his fast attacks, and he has all the skills. Bai Shuang also watched the fight between Woo Lingan and Wang Teju, and she wants the guy to make a comeback and already be able to defeat the dangerous killer. Bai Shuang wondered if this was all Woo Lingan was capable of, and he greatly disappointed her, and she thought that he was the favorite of all their trials. Wang Teju was happy and told Woo Lingan that he would deliver the final blow and the guy would definitely not be able to bear it and would lose consciousness from the blow. And at that very second, Wang Teju dealt a heavy blow to Woo Lingan's head with his iron pillar, and none of his opponents survived. Woo Lingan's friends were in complete shock, and Tian thought that he had heard a story from his colleagues that all of Wang Teju's enemies died after his blow. But Wang Teju was at a loss, and he doesn't believe his eyes and how Woo Lingan was able to withstand his blow and not lose consciousness, and he is unique. Woo Lingan was fine, and he held Wang Teju's weapon with his hand, and he is confident in himself and will soon break the will of the killer, and he underestimated him in vain. Wang Teju told Woo Lingan that with his current strength he still wants to resist, and why won't he just give up and rest there? Woo Lingan told Wang Teju that he was doing this precisely because he already had little strength, and he would put everything he had into this blow, and this is a fact. Wang Teju laughed and asked Woo Lingan if he really thought that with such a soft blow he could harm him, and it was so funny. And at that very second, Woo Lingan struck Wang Teju in the stomach and realized that he would be able to surprise all the people, and no one would expect such damage. Wang Teju looked at Woo Lingan and froze in place, and he did not understand anything and why his body did not obey him, and what Woo Lingan did there. And at that moment, Wang Teju screamed in pain, and he had never been in so much pain, and how was Woo Lingan able to deliver such a powerful blow to the stomach? Bright rays from Woo Lingan's blow appeared everywhere, and he used a dangerous technique that not every experienced and strong fighter knows. This bright ray illuminated the entire territory of Xuanqin Academy, and all the people closed their eyes from such brightness and what was happening in the arena. All of Woo Lingan's friends froze in place and didn't know how their best friend could hit Wang Teju so hard, and he didn't have the strength. Wang Teju could not imagine how he missed such a blow from the enemy, and how Woo Lingan had enough strength to use such a striking technique. Wang Teju didn't know how this was possible, and in vain, he underestimated Woo Lingan, and he should have finished him off earlier while he was weak and he was saving energy. And then Wang Teju fell to the ground and lost consciousness, and could no longer continue the fight, and Woo Lingan severely wounded him with one blow. Woo Lingan thought that the main reason that Wang Teju lost was because he did not consider him a serious opponent, and now he knows his strength. Wang Teju could not get up and told Woo Lingan that this was impossible and that up to that moment he had defeated all his enemies and had no problems. Wang Teju told Woo Lingan that he was poisoned by his poison and how he was able to defeat him so easily and knocked him to the ground with one blow. Woo Lingan told Wang Teju that he would explain all the information to him, and he would not guess anything, and would understand that he still had to train. Woo Lingan asked Wang Teju if he thought that this strength of his is high, even in a weakened state, and he does not lose power in any form. Wang Teju told Woo Lingan that he is a monster and he can defeat any person, and he did not know that such people exist, and this technique is evil. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that the winner of this round is Woo Lingan, and he must wait for his next fight in this task. Woo Lingan was pleased with himself and told teacher Mei Yanli that this was great. and he was happy with his prospects and he clearly had a bright future. The rector of Zhuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, asked teacher Huang Luhong to dispel the poisonous smoke from the arena released by Wang Teju, and it stinks. Huang Luhong told Rector Yu Tianxing that he understood him and would quickly complete everything and clear the arena and prepare everything for the next battle. Teacher Huang Luhong knows that he has a solution to any problem and can easily remove poisonous smoke, and they don't know the teacher. Teacher Huang Luhong threw something into the air, and drops began to come out of this device of his, and he is sure that this will help their people. The students asked each other if it was really raining and realized that this was an antidote, and teacher Huang Luhong helped them and removed the poison from the arena. Woo Lingan realized that his strength had returned, and now he was full of energy and ready to continue participating in the tournament and amaze all the people in the arena. Murang Chan started running towards Woo Lingan and said that she congratulated him, and it was so cool and all the newcomers were shocked by his will. Murang Chan hugged Woo Lingan tightly and told her best friend that he was even stronger than she thought, and he defeated one of the main strongmen. All the students were shocked by Murang Chan's behavior, and Tushan is very jealous of Woo Lingan. And why is this girl always pestering her brother? Tushan Xiaoyu began to quickly walk towards Woo Lingan and Murang, and she will directly explain to the girl what cannot be done and what can be done now. Tushan Xiaoyu grabbed Murang Chan by the shoulder and she wants to convey her thought to her. And did she really not understand her thoughts from her emotions? Tushan Xiaoyu started yelling at Murang Chan, and she doesn't want her to pester Woo Lingan, and she lured him to her and distracts him. Tushan Xiaoyu told Murang Chan not to get so close to her brother Woo Lingan, and why does she always hug him and act stupid? But Murang Chan told Tushan Xiaoyu that she just wanted to go and congratulate Woo Lingan. But the fox told the lady that she was hunting for Woo. Xiao Huohuo was very annoyed, and this damn guy Woo Lingan ruined everything, and why are all the beauties always surrounding him? But the teacher at Zhuantian Academy asked Xiao Huo why he himself thinks that everyone should run after him, and what is special about him for ladies. But the teacher of Zhuantian Academy told Xiao Huo that this Woo Lingan was indeed stronger than he expected, and he was able to defeat Wang Teju there. The Zhuantian Academy teacher asked Xiao Huo if he was sure that he could defeat Woo Lingan because he had seen his skills with his own eyes. The sneaky teacher of Zhuantian Academy looked at Woo Lingan and knows that the guy can withstand many heavy blows and hit them back. Xiao Huo asked the teacher of Zhuantian Academy if he really asked him about this now and doubted that he would defeat Lingan. But Xiao Huo told the Zhuantian Academy teacher that there was no word for lose in his Huohuo dictionary, and he had never experienced such a feeling. But suddenly at that moment, someone grabbed Xiao Ho on the shoulder, and this person wants to warn the newcomer and let him remember their rule. The man told Xiao Huo that lighting a fire on the territory of this Zhuantian Academy would result in a fine of 500 spiritual stones, and he violated. Xiao Ho was furious and asked the man who he was to fine him and why he decided to approach him, and he was pissing him off. The teacher of Zhuantian Academy asked Xiao Huo not to hack now, to get excited, and this is a common rule, and let him not pay attentions. The teacher at Zhuantian Academy told Xiao Huo that this person is not an ordinary person, and he is in charge of all the discipline at Zhuantian Academy. Xiao Huo listened to the words of the teacher of Zhuantian Academy, and he said that besides, this man is also the cousin of the rector Yu Tianxing. The rector's cousin looked at Xiao Huo and thought that he had not seen such arrogant students for a long time. And what was he whispering about with his friend? The teacher at Zhuantian Academy asked Xiao Huo if he really didn't see that the rector Yu Tianxing was looking at them intently, and these are facts. Xiao Huo realized that he had to control himself and not get nervous over trifles, because he still had to defeat Woo Lingan in their fight soon. The rector of Zhuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, continued to look at Xiao Huo and waited for him to fulfill the request of his cousin there. Xiao Huo didn't want to, but he himself was obliged to agree with the rector's cousin and said that he would give him 500 spiritual stones. But suddenly the rector's cousin told Xiao Huo that he was charged thousands of stones for maliciously attacking a person at the academy. The teacher of Zhuantian Academy asked Xiao Huo to behave calmly, and he should not be provoked by the rector's brother, and this is all true. Xiao Huo could hardly contain his emotions and agreed with his colleague, and said that he would pay the fine and let the rector's brother step aside. Xiao Ho said that the river flows to the west for 30 years and to the east for 30 years, and everything that the rector and the old man gave him, he will return double. Xiao Ho said that he has another target, and this is Woo Lingan, and he almost forgot about him, and he caused him a lot of problems and nuances. At this time, Lingan began to tremble and thought that a cold and unpleasant wind had blown, and he did not know that it was hot outside now. Tushan Xiaoyu was surprised and asked Woo Lingan what was going on with him, and he said that he didn't know that he suddenly felt cold and it was dark. Disciple Tian told his friends that brother Woo Lingan was so cool, he was even able to defeat the top 5 best assassins Wang Teju, and it was brilliant. Woo Lingan told the novice Tian that it was easy, and he did not doubt his strength and skills, and he wanted to evaluate Wang Teju's skills in battle. Tian told Woo Lingan that thanks to him, he had collected a lot of information about Wang Teju, and on the black market they would pay him good money for it. Woo Lingan congratulated Tian on this, and teacher Mei Yanli immediately asked the fat man why he was standing there and not going to him, because they were waiting for the guy. Disciple Tian drew attention to teacher Mei Yanli, and he said that he should fight the last fight of the first round and everyone wants it. After a while, Disciple Tian entered the arena and stood face to face with his opponent and was ready for battle, and he was well prepared for the test. Student Tian's opponent is called Yu Jiaxue, and he was serious about this fight, and he will show all these teachers what he is capable of. Teacher Huang Luhong told Rector Yu Tianxing that this young man is so familiar to him, and he thinks that he also knows Yu Jiaxue, and it's all true. The rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, told teacher Huang Luhong that he thinks about everything correctly, and this is his unworthy grandson Yu Jiaxue. Rector Yu Tianxing said that this Yu Jiaxue is lazy and does not want to learn their family techniques, so he sent him to the academy as soon as possible. The students said that there in the arena, the grandson of the rector Yu Tianxing and the ladies appreciated his appearance and he looks beautiful and they need to make friends. Woo Lingan asked Tian if his opponent Yu Jiaxue is the grandson of the rector of their academy, Yu Tianxing, then whether this guy will finish him off in their battle. Disciple Tian told brother Woo Lingan that he underestimates him and he is able to show surprises and surprise enemies because he is very strong. Disciple Tian told Woo Lingan that although he is not strong in battle, this knowledge of his compensates for the difference in strength, and he himself knows a special approach. Disciple Tian told Yu Jiaxue that he knows a lot of information about him because he is the grandson of the rector Yu Tianxing, and he has always studied his data. Tian told Yu Jiaxue that his Tianji clan's secret techniques will already help him in this fight, and he should take it seriously in their fight. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that they must be ready, and the battle begins, and he wishes them both good luck, and may the best one win there. Tian used the Tree of Fate technique and asked the Eye of Heaven to open now, and he believes in his potential, and he will amaze the entire audience there. Woo Lingan told Tushan Xiaoyu that Tianji's reception looked very impressive, and Tian could really fight back against Rector Yu's grandson. Tushan Xiaoyu told brother Woo Lingan that this is a secret technique of the Tianji clan that allows you to look into fate, and it is so incredible. Tian was preparing for battle, and Tushan Xiaoyu said to Woo Lingan that people say that only 1 in 1,000 clan disciples master the technique. Tushan Xiaoyu looked at Yu Jiaxue and said to Woo Lingan that it seems that this fat man Tian is not simple and he can become a secretive minion. Yu Jiaxue told Tian that he was so interested in learning all this and let him show him what his technique, which is the stuff of legends, is capable of. Tian wanted to use the technique to find out Yu Jiaxue's entire biography, and then he would be able to find his weak point and deliver a targeted blow to him. Tian learned that Yu Jiaxue does not like to use their family's fire techniques and prefers earth techniques, and he is a master of hand-to-hand combat. Tian has already learned that the probability of Yu Jiaxue launching an attack with earthen techniques is 85% and most likely he wants to hit. And at the same second, Yu Jiaxue used the stone spike attack technique and how Tian will defend himself from his attacks. And this is extremely difficult. But Yu Jiaxue was surprised because he could not hit Tian with the attack, and he calmly stood aside and dodged his technique with ease. Tian told Yu Jiaxue that the attack line of the stone spike was definitely predicted in advance and such a blow would not hurt him, and he was confident in himself. Woo Lingan told Tushan Xiaoyu that she was 100% right, and this Tian is quite dexterous, and how could he dodge such an attack? Tushan Xiaoyu told brother Woo Lingan that this is the effect of the open eye of heaven, and Tian knows in advance how the grandson of the Rector Yu will attack. Tushan Xiaoyu said that the Eye of Heaven is a technique that allows Tian to accept the consciousness of the ancestors of the Tianji clan, and this is simply incredible. Tushan Xiaoyu saw that Tian was very confident in himself and told brother Woo Lingan that Tian now seemed to be possessed by the spirit of an ancestor, and it was a shock. But Yu Jiaxue also didn't want to give up, and he had trained for many years and would not let his grandfather down, and Yu Tianxing would be proud of his skills today. Tian thought that the next step was that the probability that Yu Jiaxui would now use fire techniques to fight was 10%, and the probability that Yu Jiaxui will approach using earth techniques and switch to hand-to-hand combat is 90%, and this will be enough for him. Yu Jiaxui continued to run towards Tian, and he will not give up so easily and in vain. The guy from the Tianji clan thinks that he is already much smarter than him. Tian realized that he shouldn't panic, and if he just raised his hand, he could easily defend himself from Yu Jiaxui's attack, and he believed that he was a genius. Tian was absolutely confident in his intelligence, and he would block his attack, and Yu Jiaxui need not try, and he knows all these actions of his. But suddenly, at that moment, Tian missed a strong blow to the face from Yu Jiaxui, and he does not understand how this could happen because he is strong. Disciple Tian flew a couple of meters away from Yu Jiaxui's blow and fell to the ground with a roar. And in vain he underestimated the enemy, and his blow was strong. Yu Jiaxui himself was surprised that he was able to hit Tian with an attack, because the guy promised that he would defend himself from all his attacks, and he surprised him. Tian continued to lie on the ground, and he must come to his senses and no longer make such gross mistakes. Otherwise he will lose in the battle with Yu Jiaxui. Woo Lingan was worried and told Tian that he should be careful, and then he could defeat his opponent and not be distracted by trifles. But Tian began to write down in a notebook, and next time he should take into account the difference in the strength of both sides. And then, he will miss the blows. Woo Lingan was completely shocked and told Tian that now is clearly not the time to make such notes and let him concentrate on his fight there. But suddenly at this moment Tian lost consciousness and definitely can't continue fighting anymore. And because of one mistake, he lost it all. Yu Jiaxui was worried and asked teacher Mei Yanli if everything was okay with Tian now, and it seemed like he could no longer fight and fight back. Teacher Mei Yanli told Yu Jiaxui that he congratulates him on his brilliant victory, and he has advanced to the next round and let him wait in the hall. Teacher Huang Luhong told the academy's rector Yu Tianxing that Yu Jiaxui's grandson has greatly improved his strength, and he trains so much. But the rector of the academy, Yu Tianxing, told teacher Huang Luhong that the grandson still refuses to use the family techniques of the Yu clan there. The rector of Zhuanqian Academy, Yu Tianxing, wanted to approach his grandson and give him advice so that Yu Jiaxui can further develop his potential. But Yu Jiaxui turned away sharply and did not want to communicate with Yu Tianxing, and he himself avoided him all the time. And why should he communicate with him? And he infuriates him. Teacher Mei Yanli told Yu Jiaxui that he could leave the arena and rest, and he deserved it because he won a spectacular victory now. Tian at this time asked his brother Woo Lingan if it was him, and the guy told the fighter that he did not expect that Tian was so strong, and he was very surprised. Tian asked his brother maybe he was making fun of him, but Woo Lingan told him that he was serious, and he opened the celestial eye, and it was so cool. Woo Lingan told Tian that it was a pity that he himself did not have this necessary talent. Otherwise, he would definitely have learned this technique from him. Disciple Tian told brother Woo Lingan that he is very strong even without this technique, and he believes that he can defeat all the fighters because he is strong. Teacher Mei Yanli said that for the second round, the opponents will be randomly distributed, and upon hearing the name, they will enter the arena. The rector of Zhuanqian Academy, Yu Tianxing, was surprised and asked Huang Luhong if in the second round the opponents were chosen at random. But teacher Huang Luhong told rector Yu Tianxing that he doesn't know this. And maybe this is teacher Mei Yanli's sudden decision for the people. Xiao Huohuo asked his colleague what was going on, and if they were randomly assigned, how could he meet Woo Lingan in battle? But the teacher of Zhuanqian Academy asked Xiao Huo not to worry, and everything is under control and they know what they are doing, and the cool plan is still in force. And then suddenly, the teacher of the Zhuanqian Academy told Xiao Huo that Woo Lingan was hated not only by him, and looked at the teacher Mei Yanli. Teacher Mei Yanli at this time took out a piece of paper and told all the people that the couple for the first fight had been chosen and they would watch there. Teacher Mei Yanli said that in this battle, there will be very strong fighters fighting among themselves, and even many people expected such a battle now. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that the first person is Woo Lingan, and now they will find out his opponent and who they will meet in their arena. And at that very second, teacher Mei Yanli told the students that Woo Lingan will meet against Xiao Huohuo, and an exciting battle awaits them, and this is a fact. Tushan Xiaoyu said that something was wrong, and if the opponents were now chosen by chance, then how are Woo Lingan and Xiao Huohuo there in the same group? Murang Chan agreed with Tushan Xiaoyu and said that she also did not hear that the second round involved a random selection of fighters. Shan Xiaoyu asked the teacher if they cheated when organizing the fights, and Mei Yanli said that their Xuantian Academy is private. Xiao Huohuo told the students that teacher Mei Yanli is saying everything correctly, and he is absolutely honest, and they are not playing along with any of their newcomers. Xiao Huohuo told Woo Lingan that he was shaking so much, and is he really afraid of his strength, and even wants to appeal and doubts the teachers? Tushan Xiaoyu was furious and told Xiao Huo that he was a puppy, and why did he decide this and where did he get such impudence from, and she will show him. But Woo Lingan asked Tushan Xiaoyu not to talk like that, and he would explain his opinion to her and thought that he was not afraid of anyone and could remove everyone. Woo Lingan told Tushan Xiaoyu that if he wants to get into the top class today, he cannot afford to retreat and hide. Tushan Xiaoyu told brother Woo Lingan that he should be extremely careful and carefully consider all his actions, and this is important. Murang Chan said that brother Woo Lingan looks very attractive in a serious manner now, and she can't take her eyes off there. Tushan Xiaoyu was furious and told Murang Chan that this is her phrase, and she is stealing her ideas to impress Woo Lingan, and this is absurd. Tian realized that Murang Chan and Tushan Xiaoyu seem to be both angry and interested in brother Woo Lingan, and this must be remembered, and this is intrigue. At this time, Woo Lingan entered the arena and stood directly face-to-face with Xiao Huohuo, and he wants to take revenge on the guy for Murang Chan and will try. Xiao Huohuo told Woo Lingan that he did not expect that he would actually go against him, and he thought that the guy would hide from this fight. Xiao Huo thought that Woo Lingan himself signed the death warrant, and he would not be able to defeat him, and he did not have enough skills like Rong Chan. And at that very second, suddenly Xiao Huo swung his sword and almost wounded Woo Lingan and said that they would settle old and new grievances right now. Tushan Xiaoyu was angry and told teacher Mei Yanli that he didn't even announce the start of the fight, and it was a surprise attack from Xiao. But teacher Mei Yanli asked Tushan Xiaoyu if he didn't announce this because he said the word started a couple of minutes ago, and it's true. Tushan Xiaoyu was angry and realized that it seems that all the people in this Xuantian Academy of theirs are against Woo Lingan, and these cultivators are vile. Xiao Huo continued to throw dangerous blows at Woo Lingan, but he was fast enough to dodge his blows and not get hurt yet. And at that moment, Xiao Huo lost sight of Woo Lingan and could not understand where he had gone, because he was standing in front of him, and he wanted to hit him with the technique. But the sneaky teacher of Xuantian Academy was alarmed and thought that Woo Lingan was very treacherous and could cause problems for Xiao Huo. The teacher at Xuantian Academy asked Xiao Huo to be careful, and Woo Lingan is standing behind him, and he should take action and take a look. Woo Lingan suddenly appeared behind Xiao Huo, and the guy froze in place in surprise and how he could not notice how the enemy was behind him. Woo Lingan swung and thought that none of his opponents could intimidate him, and in his entire life, he had already met many such fighters. Xiao Huo smiled and told Woo Lingan that it turns out that he is really very fast, and he was able to get around him from the side in a split second. But at that very moment, Xiao Huo attacked Woo Lingan and said that unfortunately this would not help him, and he was fantasizing about his victory. Woo Lingan noticed that his hand began to burn, and he should quickly put out the flame without hesitation, and then continue the fight with the cunning Xiao. Xiao Huohuo told Woo Lingan that he had fully studied his fighting style, and if he didn't let him get close, he wouldn't do anything to him. Woo Lingan had difficulty putting out the fire and thought that he was too hot, and this opponent was not easy to fight, and he easily avoided contact. And then Woo Lingan looked at Xiao Huohuo, and he knows that you can't be distracted from such people and they can strike from behind at any moment. Xiao Huohuo was preparing his attack, and he is glad that every time Woo Lingan finds it more and more difficult to defend against his various attacks, and he is torturing the guy now. Xiao Huo started to use the Blue Flame King technique, and if Woo Lingan doesn't like fire, he will chase him with fire in battle. Woo Lingan realized that the temperature of the blue fire is too high and cannot be resisted directly, otherwise he will get burned by the fires. The Xuantian Academy teacher was delighted and said that Xiao Huo managed to drive Woo Lingan into a corner in this way, and he does not know anything. Bai Shuang believes that Woo Lingan will be able to get out of such a situation, and this is not the maximum of his skills, and he is waiting for the right moment there. Bai Shuang thought that Woo Lingan should finally show all of them his demonic techniques and defeat Xiao Huohuo with the techniques in their battle. Woo Lingan noticed that there was a wall behind him and there was no other way and he could not run, and had to come up with some kind of plan and stop the enemy. Xiao Huohuo was happy and told Woo Lingan that now he would send him to the next world and he would not be able to defend himself from the deadly attacks of his enemy. Xiao Huo used the technique of two dragons plunging into the sea, and he is 100% sure that Woo Lingan does not know what to do now. Woo Lingan decided that it looks like he will have to use all his strength and he has nothing to lose. Otherwise, he will lose his life and this is not success. Murang Chan said that finally, Brother Woo Lingan is becoming much more serious and this is the coolest fighter she knows in her life. Disciple Tian was very interested in what kind of technique Woo Lingan uses in battle and he had not seen this before or could not remember it. Woo Lingan decided that he would not feel sorry for Xiao Huo and would fight him on equal terms because he also did not give him time to rest in their fight. Woo Lingan used the chest press technique and he wants to see how Xiao Huo will defend against his attacks, and he has improved his skills a lot. Woo Lingan told Xiao Huo that this is a technique that he developed by combining his training and cultivation, and let him admit that it's cool. Xiao Huo was at a loss and told Woo Lingan that this is not at all a special and cool technique as he told him, and he is still lying and getting on his nerves. Xiao Huo told Woo Lingan that he was able to immediately stop his Blue Flame King technique with his hands, and he admits that the guy is not bad and he is strong. But Xiao Huo told Woo Lingan that his tricks didn't end there, and he could surprise him, and Lingan didn't understand what this guy meant. Woo Lingan looked straight at Xiao Huo and realized that he surrounded him with technology and did not give him room for maneuver and interfered with all his efforts. Xiao Huo told Woo Lingan that now they will see how he will catch all his attacks with his hands with such density, and he is interested to know the result. Woo Lingan decided that it looked like he would have to use a more powerful technique against Xiao Huo, and then he could take his opponent by surprise there. Woo Lingan stood still and he will not step back even in danger and will become an example for his friend and will take revenge for her and show a masterclass to everyone. Woo Lingan began to use the skill of high-speed jumps on the spot, and there, he would definitely become inaccessible to Xiao Huo and easily defend himself from attacks. Teshunkao Juduan said that this is impossible. And how does Woo Lingan know his technique of the illusory Teshunkao from the Heihuan sect? And this is so strange. But people asked Teshunkao Juduan if he could rest better, and this is just a quick movement and has nothing to do with his Teshunkao for sure. Woo Lingan continued to use the illusory Teshunkao skill and thought that it would fool Xiao Huo and he would not be able to find where his original was. Xiao Huo was annoyed and realized that Woo Lingan was using air currents created by speed to dispel his Fire Lotus technique. But Xiao Huo told Woo Lingan that now there was already a lot of fiery energy around him, and he would be able to make a new blow at him and injure the villain. And at this moment, Xiao Huo used the Firestone Death Prison technique, and Woo Lingan will not be able to get out of this trap now. Tian asked if Xiao Huo doesn't have a fiery earth base and how he can use stone techniques, and he defeats all the newcomers there. Murang Chan said that this technique is strange and the earth energy is not felt at all by everyone, and how Xiao Huo does such things and it is dangerous. The academy teacher said that Xiao Huo has his signature skill, and that is switching between the 5 types of spiritual foundations, and that's cool. Xiao Huo was furious and told the academy teacher that he again came up with the names of his techniques and told him to stop doing that, and he was pissing him off. Xiao Huo thought that the savages of this world are so stupid and don't even understand how the interactions of the 5 elements work and guess on anything. Teacher Huang Luhong told Rector Yu Tianxing that he should pay attention to him, and he wanted to tell him important information now. Rector Yu Tianxing told Teacher Huang Luhong that he knows what he wants to tell him, and the Xiao Huo technique is indeed a very strange technique. But teacher Huang Luhong told the rector of the academy, Yu Tianxing, that he wanted to tell him about something else, and it seems that he misunderstood his thoughts now. Rector Yu Tianxing was surprised and wanted to know what the teacher of their academy, Huang Luhong, wanted to tell him, and it looked like he began to get very nervous there. Teacher Huang Luhong looked at Xiao Huo's creation and realized that this fighter is not easy, and he has great potential and needs to be realized. Teacher Huang Luhong told Rector Yu Tianxing that it seems that one identical slab of Linyang stone is worth at least 5,000 spiritual stones. The rector of the academy was completely shocked by the words of the teacher Huang Luhong, and they could all earn so much money and the guy did them a great favor. Xiao Huo said that by understanding the principles of this world, even with 2 types of these spiritual foundations, he can create countless variations of techniques. Xiao Huo told Woo Lingan that he must catch the next blow, and he knows that with each of his attacks it becomes more and more difficult for him to defend himself. And he knows him. Xiao Huo told Woo Lingan that fire creates earth and used his stone barrage technique, and they will find out which of them is stronger in the techniques. And at that very second, Xiao Huo brought down a lot of stones on Woo Lingan and wanted to destroy him so that no one could remember who this impudent person was. Tian was alarmed and told brother Woo Lingan that he must be strong and he had withstood so many powerful blows before, and he was a master of combat. Murang Chan was also very worried about Woo Lingan, and she asked him just not to lose consciousness, and soon they will help him, and he is stronger than all people. The rector of the academy, Yu Tianxing, felt very bad, and he thought that he was losing so many expensive stones and what the newcomers had done, and it terrified him there. Teacher Huang Luhong asked the rector of the academy, Yu Tianxing, if he was okay and what happened to him, and he could quickly call a doctor for him. Tushan Xiaoyu asked Murang Chan where she was going, and they should all not interfere in the fight, and Woo Lingan himself could resolve the issue. But Murang Chan told Tushan Xiaoyu that she couldn't just watch Woo Lingan get killed, and she had to save him, and he was precious. But Tushan Xiaoyu stopped Murang Chan and said that she would ruin everything now, and therefore she should think carefully about her thoughts. Murang Chan asked Tushan Xiaoyu why she was slowing her down, and how she, as the protector of Woo Lingan, could just look at all this. But Tushan Xiaoyu asked Murang Chan not to worry, and all such techniques do not work on Woo Lingan, and he will be able to defend himself from everything. Xiaohuo said that it is a little surprising, but all the savages from another world still cannot compare with the chosen one of this world in strength. But suddenly at that moment, Xiaohuo noticed that the stones were shaking, and he could not believe that Woo Lingan could survive such attacks. Xiaohuo froze in place and waited for what Woo Lingan would do, and he had to be careful because he spent a lot of energy on the attack and believed in himself so much. Disciple Tian asked his friends what was happening, and he felt that the whole earth under his feet was shaking, and he could not understand this phenomenon in any way. Murang Chan asked her friend Tushan Xiaoyu, maybe an earthquake started because of Xiaohuo's attacks, and this is quite possible. But Tushan Xiaoyu smiled and said that brother Woo Lingan was involved in this, and it was not for nothing that she told them that he would get out of any trouble. Tushan Xiaoyu told her friends that Woo Lingan is invincible as always, and no fighter will be able to defeat him, and she is confident of this today. Woo Lingan used the super speed press technique and was now able to escape and move all the heavy stones to the side, and this makes them happy. Xiaohuo was perplexed and asked Woo Lingan how this was possible, and this technique had previously allowed him to defeat any enemy in their battle. Tushan Xiaoyu said that compared to Woo Lingan's regular training, these stone slabs are worthless, and this is a warm-up for Woo. Murang Chan was amazed and told her friend that brother Woo Lingan is indeed very strong, and he was able to withstand so many blows in battle. Woo Lingan exhaled and said that this weight is too light for him, and he has been lifting heavy stones for 2,000 years and is accustomed to the loads. Xiaohuo said that this cannot be, and there is no one in this world who could put him in such a position, and the guy surprised him so much. But Xiaohuo decided that he, as the chosen one, would never lose in their battle to some passing guy and would be able to punish him for his impudence. Xiaohuo said that fire uses the power of the earth and the earth gave birth to metal, and this technique hits 10,000 heavy rocks, and it will help. Xiaohuo wanted to strike his opponent with lightning speed, and now he is his #1 goal, and he will not let him live and will finish him there. The rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, told teacher Huang Luhong that it seems that rage has clouded Xiaohuo's mind, and he is doing nonsense in battle. Teacher Huang Luhong listened with interest to the words of the rector, Yu Tianxing, and he said that Xiaohuo even forgot what his opponent was very strong at. Woo Lingan used the divine technique and realized that his talent and potential amazed the mind and imagination, and he could beat him. And at that very second, Woo Lingan used the body rotation technique and hit Xiaohuo's sword with his hand, and didn't even feel the pain now. A fragment of Xiaohuo's sword flew off a couple of meters, and Woo Lingan realized that he had deprived the fighter of his main weapon, and this was his plan. Xiaohuo was completely shocked and said to Woo Lingan, and he broke his sword, and he doesn't know how he will now deliver powerful blows in battle. Xiaohuo noticed that Woo Lingan had already swung his hand and wanted to beat him, and he was distracted by the sword and completely forgot about his opponent. And this is a mistake. And then there was a roar and an explosion, and Woo Lingan realized that everything was going according to his plan. And he wanted to personally take revenge on Xiaohuo for their friend. Xiaohuo noticed that Woo Lingan's hand is next to his face, but he doesn't throw punches and doesn't seem to want to hurt him. And he's cool. Woo Lingan told Xiaohuo that he lost in the battle, and before that, he was 100% sure that he could fight back and win easily there. Shan Xiaoyu told Woo Lingan that this blow was great, and she wants children from him, and would be delighted with this, and he is clearly unique. Murang Chan told Tushan Xiaoyu that Woo Lingan is so strong and he is humble, but if you anger him, he becomes a monster in battle. Teacher Mei told Xiaohuo that he is a pathetic weakling, and he really couldn't defeat some guy without strength, and it's a shame for the whole family. Wu Lingan thought that Xiaohuo himself was to blame, and he should not have fought so hard with Murang Chan, and that's why he got what he deserved there. But Xiaohuo told Wu Lingan to stand still, and they haven't finished yet, and he must express his opinion, and he has the right to do so now. Xiaohuo asked Dan Lao to give him strength, and he wants to deal with Wu Lingan himself. And he himself does not have enough skills, and this guy is insidious. Dang Lao listened to Xiaohuo's words and thought that the guy did not fight like an experienced fighter, and one should not act on emotions and this would harm the guy. Dang Lao asked Xiaohuo if he had really gone crazy and wanted to take the remaining fragment of his soul and use up his last strength for the sake of the exam. But Xiaohuo told Dang Lao that he had nothing more to lose, and he obviously couldn't be humiliated in front of the newcomers of Xuantian Academy now. Xiaohuo told Dan Lao that if he couldn't even prove himself in the Academy's trials, then what was the point of him coming to this world? Dan Lao listened to his friend's words and asked Xiaohuo why the opinions of others are important to him, and he should save his strength because he is a powerful fighter. Xiaohuo remembered that he used to be an ordinary student at school and was often ridiculed for the fact that he liked to read comics back then. People asked their friends if it was Xiaohuo, and the guy even reads manga on the way to school and why he behaves like an idiot and a fool. Xiaohuo was very angry at all these people, and they are idiots, and why should they judge him? And he has his own interests, and he likes to read manga. Xiaohuo wondered if these people's grades or character were better than his, and if he were a manga hero, he would make them regret. And at that moment, the driver asked Xiaohuo to be careful, and he did not hear the car signal at all and was fixated on fantasies. Xiaohuo realized that perhaps the heavens heard his wish, and then the driver asked the guy to step aside and he would not have time to brake. And at that very second, it all ended, and Xiaohuo no longer had to endure the humiliation of people, and he was freed from everything and was satisfied. Xiaohuo found out that he really got into the world of manga as he wanted, and the heavens fulfilled his request and seemed to give him a chance to become cooler. Xiaohuo became the forgotten scion of the Xiao clan, and his brothers laughed at him and teased him and wanted him to leave. And where is the idiot in the family? Xiaohuo thought that in addition, after his reincarnation, he was also bullied, as in his previous life, and nothing had changed. But after that, Xiaohuo swore that he would never again become the one everyone makes fun of, and he has this ring, and it will help the guy. Xiaohuo was happy, and, as in the manga, the ring is inhabited by a strong spirit of the cultivator, and he was lucky that he was able to find the ring in his world. Xiaohuo found out that the strong cultivator's name was Dan Lao, and he immediately began to help him. And he knows a lot of important and various information. Xiaohuo learned that during his lifetime, Dang Lao was not only a very great master, but also a great alchemist and could create any pills. And with the help of Dan Lao, Xiaohuo quickly reached the stage of formation of spiritual energy and taught a lesson to all the scoundrels, and it was cool. Having received such power, Xiaohuo forced all the people who humiliated him so much to get what they deserved and then respect him and be very afraid. Thanks to his success in his clan, Xiaohuo has already gained respect and fear, and if he becomes the head of the family, he will receive the support of everyone there. Xiaohuo told Dan Lao that he will prove that he is no longer the weakling he was before, and he has a golden finger, and he himself will not lose. Dan Lao listened to Xiaohuo's words and realized that, in his subconscious, there was still that cowardly guy, and he was afraid of becoming like that time. Dang Lao told Xiaohuo that he couldn't do anything about his friend if he decided to do this, and it was unlikely that he would be able to convince him now. Dan Lao told Xiaohuo that he still had a little spiritual energy left, and only enough for half a stick of time incense, and this is a fact. Xiaohuo listened intently to Dan Lao's words and thought that this time would definitely be enough for him to defeat Wu Lingan because he has the will. Dan Lao asked Xiaohuo to use energy wisely, and then he would be able to punish the insolent Wu Lingan. Otherwise, he would suffer a complete collapse. Xiaohuo asked Dan Lao not to worry, and he knows what he is doing and everything will be under control and he will not lose his mind in this fight of theirs. Teacher Huang Luhong told Rector Yu Tianxing that there is something wrong with Xiaohuo's energy, and it seems strange to him, and he is confident in his opinion. The rector of the Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, looked at the student and he realized that the teacher Huang Luhong was right and something was clearly wrong with this Xiaohuo. Dang Lao told Xiaohuo that when he was alive, he then had the power of the creation stage, but now he can only give him the level of the golden course. But Xiaohuo told Dan Lao that the main thing is not the level of strength, but the time to use his 5 elemental fire flames in their battle. Xiaohuo told Wu Lingan that fire creates water, and he definitely hasn't given up yet, and will use all possible options for success. And at that moment, Xiaohuo directed his attack towards Wu Lingan, and thought that this guy was getting on his nerves and would get rid of him. Xiaohuo used the water prison technique and 3 purple lightning bolts, and all newcomers are wondering whether Woo Lingan can withstand all this. Woo Lingan began to drown in the water and realized that this was an unusual technique, and how Xiaohuo could learn such techniques so quickly, and it was a shock. Murang Chan was shocked and asked what was happening, and did Xiaohuo really have the strength to fight again, and he couldn't get up from the ground? Tian told sister Murang Chan that she was absolutely right, and that Xiaohuo's level had risen to the golden core stage, and this was strange. Tushin Xiaoyu was furious and told the teachers that Xiaohuo's disciple cannot be at the golden core stage, and the guy is definitely cheating. But teacher Mei Yanli told Tushan Xiaoyu that without evidence, she cannot accuse Xiaohuo of deception, and this is against all the rules. Xiaohuo told Woo Lingan that even if his strength is great in the water, he will definitely weaken and obviously will not be able to attack him like before. Xiaohuo started using the earth gives birth to metal technique, and he will destroy Woo Lingan and Xuantian. Academy does not need this guy, and at that very second, Xiaohuo sent iron spikes towards Woo Lingan, and he wants to injure the opponent so that the fighter cannot get to his feet. Woo Lingan realized that he had to save himself and immediately began to use the fast frog swimming technique, and he would avoid getting hit by the thorns. But Xiaohuo told Woo Lingan that he couldn't escape anywhere, and he said that water gives birth to a tree and will definitely not allow the guy to escape. Xiaohuo used binding roots, and Woo Lingan found it extremely difficult to escape from the trap, and he thinks, what should he do there now? Woo Lingan realized that the tree branches were very strong, and Xiaohuo immediately asked if he felt it, and this is the power of the golden core technique. Xiaohuo knows that he has little time, and he must ask Dang Lao something, and he can give useful advice and help him in battle. Dan Lao asked Xiaohuo if he really uses his life energy and he can destroy his foundation, and this is so dangerous. Xiaohuo told Dang Lao that there was only one hit left, and he needed to use it to finish off Woo Lingan forever. Xiaohuo said that fire gives birth to earth and all earth gives birth to metal. Metal gives birth to water, wood, and wood gives birth to fire. Xiaohuo looked at his fist, and he uses the cycle of 5 elements, and this is a combination of power, and no one can interfere with all his plans. Xiaohuo dealt a heaven-ending blow to Woo Lingan, and now he wants to destroy all his dreams and let the guy regret that he fought with him. The newcomers fled from the arena and said that this was not at all like a battle between formation stage cultivators and what Xiaohuo had done. The students asked to save them and said that they were also dragged into this fight, although they had nothing to do with it, and they were just watching the fighters being tested. The rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, realized that he must take action now, otherwise this battle could end badly for the newcomers. Rector Yu Tianxing began to suppress Xiaohuo's techniques, and he brought the intensity of the battle to the limit, and everything is out of control and it is already very dangerous there. Tian was delighted and said that Rector Yu Tianxing, as expected from an Ascension Stage Master, suppressed the entire wave with one attack there. Newcomer Tian told his friends that it was good that he went to study at Xuantian Academy that day and was already able to learn a lot. But newcomer Tian noticed that Rector Yu Tianxing was flying high and people could see his artificial leg, and he didn't know that Rector Yu was limping so much. Xiaohuo was furious and told the teachers and the rector that he did not want to be a simple person who no one noticed, and he was so tired. Xiaohuo continued to attack Woo Lingan with his beam, and he told the teachers of Xuantian Academy that he must defeat the scoundrel there. Woo Lingan no longer wanted to endure Xiaohuo's attacks and said that this fighter was annoying, and he was making him nervous and didn't want to stop attacking. Xiaohuo was alarmed, and he doesn't know what Woo Lingan is up to, and he is not a weakling, and you need to be concentrated with him during the battle. Woo Lingan remembered his family and told the strong Xiaohuo that he had a more compelling reason not to lose and would protect his family. Woo Lingan used a water fist, and he got tired of standing without getting hit, and he accumulated enough energy and can hit his enemy. Woo Lingan unleashed all his rage on Xiaohuo, and there was a roar and an explosion, and it looks like the guy suffered from his powerful blow, and this is necessary. Xiaohuo was in complete shock. And where did Woo Lingan get such enormous and extraordinary strength, and how was he not tired of fighting there for so long? Xiaohuo asked Woo Lingan how this was possible because he gave his best and thought that this would be enough to get the guy out of his way. And at that same second, the explosion thundered even stronger and blew everything around, and the teachers are worried about the health of the students and what happened to them. The students said that it was good that Rector Yu Tianxing protected them. Otherwise, even a residual blow would have killed them, and why did they take such risks in their battle? The newcomers said that what harsh conditions are in the best Xuantian Academy, and they should also try their best for their success. The rector of Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, realized that it was a blow without spiritual energy. And could a person really create energy with his body? The rector of the Xuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, was very interested in who this Woo Lingan is and where he knows how to use such techniques. Dang Lao told Xiaohuo that they lost and he warned him, but he did not listen, and now they must correct the whole situation. Xiaohuo told Dan Lao that this cannot be, and he does not believe that he could lose the fight. Woo Lingan is the main character in this story. Xiaohuo told Dan Lao that this is impossible, and as the chosen hero he cannot lose, because he trained so many times in their world. Dang Lao was angry and asked Xiaohuo to stop overexerting himself, and they would find a way to defeat Woo Lingan because he himself was to blame for this failure. But Woo Lingan approached Xiaohuo and asked the guy for forgiveness, and he didn't want to do it, but he forced him with his actions today. Woo Lingan hit Xiaohuo on the head, and the guy fell to the ground and realized what Lingan was planning, and it was not in vain that he approached him, and this is vile. Xiaohuo continued to lie on the ground and could not get up, and he did not know that Woo Lingan is capable of such rare techniques and he is experienced. And at that very second, suddenly, Woo Lingan told Xiaohuo that in fact, he was also a traveler and therefore was able to defeat the guy with attacks. Teacher Mei Yanli could not imagine how strong Woo Lingan is, and no one can compare with him in potential and what else he can do. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that the winner of this round is Woo Lingan, and he congratulates him on his excellent performance, and that's cool. Tushan Xiaoyu was delighted and told brother Woo Lingan that this blow was simply incredible, and he was able to take Xiaohuo by surprise. Murang Chan asked Woo Lingan why he is so strong, and if he can teach her techniques and she wants to learn how to fight so hard. And then the friends heard Woo Lingan's stomach growling, and he was hungry and ate some meat, and Murang Chan treated him then, and he was grateful to her. Woo Lingan told his friends that the training just now was too exhausting and he was hungry, and Xiaohuo didn't let him rest there. But Murang Chan asked Woo Lingan not to worry, and she had a lot of goodies there and she would treat her best friend, and he deserved lunch today. And at that very second, Murang Chan took out a huge piece of meat and asked her best friend Woo Lingan to help himself, and she kept this food for him. Tushan Xiaoyu was angry and asked Murang Chan if she could just not leave the storage bag in such a strange place, and this is nonsense. Murang Chan asked Tushan Xiaoyu for forgiveness, and she never even thought about it, and will soon correct herself and put the bag in the wrong place. But Murang Chan told Tushan Xiaoyu that there is the most space there and she hasn't found another place yet. And that's the trouble, and that's why it's difficult for her. Tushan Xiaoyu was completely shocked by Murang Chan's words, and thought that this girl does not know the limits of decency, and she is a very uncultured lady. Murang Chan told Woo Lingan that if this is not enough, she still has meat, and he definitely won't go hungry and she will take care of his best friend. Tushan Xiaoyu was angry and realized that Murang Chan clearly had feelings for Woo Lingan, but she also needed to learn how to cook such dishes. Teacher Mei Yanli said that the fight is over and maybe they will leave the arena or want to fight with those who will enter the arena. And it's interesting to know, Woo Lingan asked Teacher Mei Yanli for forgiveness, and they will leave soon and will not interfere with the duel, and he should rest a little. Tushan Xiaoyu asked Teacher Mei Yanli why he was in such a hurry, and he didn't chase anyone else out of the arena and seemed to be very nervous. Woo Lingan decided that he had to do one more important thing because he had forgotten about his friend and he always needed to help others and all the good things would come back. Woo Lingan started to approach Xiaohuo, and you always need to respect your opponent, and they had a great sparring with him and he is a very strong fighter. Woo Lingan told Xiaohuo that he was probably also hungry and could give him a dish too, and they could have lunch together and they would have fun with him. Xiaohuo can't believe that he lost to Woo Lingan, because he's the main character and couldn't lose in history, but he underestimated this guy. Xiaohuo pushed Woo Lingan's food and told the guy that he didn't need him to feel sorry for him, and let him have lunch with his friends and he could handle it alone there. Tushan Xiaoyu asked Xiaohuo if this is how he communicates with brother Woo Lingan, and today he will receive from her and beg his friends for help. But Woo Lingan asked Tushan Xiaoyu to stop bullying Xiaohuo, and if he lost in battle, he would not be in the mood now. Murang Chan told brother Woo Lingan that he was too good-natured and ready to help even the person who wanted to kill him and attacked him there. But Woo Lingan told Murang Chan that that's not the point, and it's just that he and Xiaohuo are from the same city, so he doesn't want to quarrel with him today. Murang Chan was surprised, and why did Woo Lingan tell everyone that he was from the same city as Xiaohuo? And she didn't know about it, and her brother didn't tell her. Tushan Xiaoyu was also at a loss, and she knows that Woo Lingan is a demon, and how then can he be from the same city as Xiaohuo? And he is delusional. The Zhuantian Academy teacher was despondent and wondered if Xiao Huo really also calls himself the chosen hero, and he ruined all the plans. The academy teacher thought that it looks like he needs to find another way to cleverly deal with Woo Lingan, and he hates this student and he infuriates. But suddenly at that moment, the rector's cousin Yu Tianxing slapped a fine in the teacher's face and thought that he deserved it, and he was punished. The rector's cousin Yu Tianxing told the academy teacher that he must immediately pay 100 spiritual stones for disturbing the order there. The academy teacher listened to the words of the rector's brother, Yu Tianxing, and asked the very arrogant man what he told him and where he got so much arrogance from. But the cousin was serious and looked intently at the academy teacher, and he would give him another fine if he behaved like he is now. The academy teacher smiled and told the man that he agreed with him, and all his words were law, and he would pay the fine and would not argue with him there. The academy teacher was angry and decided that he would make Woo Lingan answer for all his actions, and he would suffer and be in great pain soon. And at that very second, Woo Lingan sneezed and thought that maybe this territory of the academy is dusty, and that's why he started sneezing. Otherwise, he doesn't know the reason. Tushen Xiaoyu told Woo Lingan that he seemed to be sweating and asked her brother not to catch a cold, and he still had a lot to do at the academy and she needed him. Murang Chan told Woo Lingan that she has ginger tea and it will help him not catch a cold and strengthen his immune system, and she will take care of him. But Woo Lingan told his friends that everything was fine with him, and maybe just someone remembers him because he became popular at the academy. But at that very moment, Bai Shuang appeared behind Woo Lingan, and she wanted to discuss something with him now. And she watched his fight with Xiao Huo. Woo Lingan listened to Bai Shuang's words and was surprised because he completely forgot about her and what she needed, and they can discuss everything because he is free for now. Woo Lingan turned around and asked Bai Shuang what she was doing there and thought that she was also very strong and was able to defeat her opponent in battle. Bai Shuang was serious and angry about something, and she wanted to personally communicate with Woo Lingan there and find out his opinion on the matter. Teacher Mei Yanli told Bai Shuang Xiaojie that this fight doesn't seem to be hers, and he doesn't understand why she came there and maybe wants to ask something. Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan that she admits that he is indeed strong, and she ignored the words of teacher Mei Yanli and seemed not to notice him. Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan that how he easily dealt with Xiao Huo surprised her a little, and people said that she made 2 enemies at a time there. Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan that the fighters could not prove his involvement with demons, and then she herself would have to deal with him at the tournament. Woo Lingan began to sweat and became very nervous, and he asked Bai Shuang what demons he was involved with and what she was talking about, and she had a wild imagination. Bai Shuang asked teacher Mei Yanli if she could enter the battle in advance, and she wants to quickly deal with her opponents and prove the hypothesis. Teacher Mei Yanli told Bai Shuang that she seems to be able to go into battle, but she needs to pull out the enemy, and these are the rules of the best academy. But Bai Shuang shouted to teacher Mei Yanli that there was no need to do this, and she didn't want to waste time, and she needed to figure everything out, and she would prove everything. Bai Shuang raised her sword and said that, "Let everyone enter the arena except this insolent Woo Lingan," and she is 100% sure that she will defeat everyone. The students asked each other if Bai Shuang really wants to fight with everyone, and thinks that if the level is higher, he can defeat any of the fighters. But the student asked for forgiveness from his colleague, and if the level is higher, it really means a lot, and Bai Shuang can defeat many fighters in the arena. Xiao Huo told Dan Lao that it was not for nothing that he liked Bai Shuang, and only such a girl could immediately challenge everyone, and she motivates him so much. But Dan Lao told Xiao Huo that it seems that he is only interested in Woo Lingan and cannot forget about him and wants to take revenge on this guy too. Dan Lao told Xiao Huo that he had heard that Woo Lingan was traveling like Xiao Huo and should stop acting like a chosen hero. Dang Lao told Xiao Huo that cultivation requires diligence. But the guy told his colleague that the opposite is true, and he will explain to him all the information there. Xiao Ho said that if his opponent is also a traveler, this only confirms his destiny to be the chosen hero, and he knows it. Dan Lao was dissatisfied and wondered why he had to hit Xiao Ho. And this is a stupid guy and he doesn't understand anything. Xiao Huaha told people that they should wait, and soon he will overcome all obstacles and bring them to their knees, and Woo Lingan will already be broken. Teacher Huang Luhong told Rector Yu Tianxing that this is against the rules of the academy, and isn't he right and wants to ask about it? The rector of the academy, Yu Tianxing, told the teacher Huang Luhong that everything is fine and young people should be a little impetuous, and this is intriguing. The rector of the academy, Yu Tianxing, asked Bai Shuang if she was sure that she wanted to challenge everyone to a fight, and was challenging, and it could be so dangerous. But Bai Shuang was 100% sure and told Rector Yu Tianxing that she did not want to waste time and was ready to fight each of them. Rector Yu Tianxing was pleased and said that this is wonderful and let the students show what they are capable of, and he wants to know what skills they have. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that the battle is beginning, and they must be prepared for difficulties, and he knows that Bai Shuang is capable of feats. And at that very second, all the fighters rushed at Bai Shuang and said that they were also from great families and let the lady not be arrogant, and they would punish her right away. But Bai Shuang was very calm, and she used the technique against all opponents with the Sword of the Immortal. And she would prove that she was much stronger. Bai Shuang really likes the 100 sword dance skill, and she will show a master class to all the fighters, and they should train more often to improve. The fighter asked Bai Shuang to watch him destroy everything with his strength, and she had definitely never met such an enemy, and she was very unlucky today. The fighter wanted to strike Bai Shuang with the Mad Purple Lightning technique, and in vain, she decided to fight all the fighters in the tournament at once. Bai Shuang asked the fighter if he really decided to measure strength with her, and it's so interesting, and she sees how confident he is that he can punish her. Bai Shuang has prepared her sword and wants to respond to all attacks, and none of the fighters will be able to hurt her, and soon they will find out who was right. Bai Shuang and this fighter almost collided with blows, and she wanted to quickly end the fight with them and teach Woo Lingan a lesson and reveal the secret. And at that moment, there was a roar and an explosion, and all the fighters there immediately flew to the side and regretted that they had decided to accept Bai Shuang's challenge to a fight. The fighter was unable to do anything, and he also flew a couple of meters away, and he had never met such a strong opponent. And Bai Shuang is cool. And at that same second, the fighter fell to the ground next to Tian and Yujiaxue, and they were in complete shock when they saw the condition of the fighter, and he was injured. Yujiaxue told Tian that it is not for nothing that Bai Shuang is called the first genius of her generation, and knocked out the heir of the Blade clan with one blow. Tian said that the swords of Yujin Peak are truly incredible, and he was able to see everything with his own eyes, and this is fantastic. And Bai Shuang is powerful. Tian told Yujiaxue that he also made it to the next round, and why doesn't he enter the arena like all the other fighters from their academy? Yujiaxue asked Tian if he was joking, and he could easily explain to him the reason why he himself did not accept Bai Shuang's challenge. Yujiaxue told Tian that this young master would never participate in obviously losing battles, and he would take care of his body. Newcomer Tian was irritated and asked Yujiaxue what was outstanding in these words of his, and thought that it was in vain that he did not defeat him in battle then. At this time, the fighters continued to attack Bai Shuang, and people wanted to take her by surprise, and she noticed that someone was sneaking up behind her. The fighter dealt a powerful blow, but Bai Shuang instantly dodged the blow and defended herself, and realized that all fighters are cunning and treacherous people. Bai Shuang used the sword whirlwind technique, and the fighter flew away somewhere from her attack and realized that the lady could not be hurt, and she was too strong. Bai Shuang decided to appeal to all the fighters who are not defeated, and she does not want to wait for each one by one, and this will all take a lot of time. Bai Shuang asked all the fighters to attack her all together, and then they would have a better chance of defeating her, because they are unique and talented. Bai Shuang told the opponents that she penetrates the heart of heaven and wields the sword thanks to energy, and she warned all people. The students were shocked and thought that Bai Shuang had taken off, and isn't it necessary to reach the golden core stage to fly? And it would be interesting to know. But a friend told a colleague that is Bai Shuang already at the cool golden core stage, and they can't believe it, and that's why she's powerful. Tian said that this is definitely not the flight technique of the Golden Core Masters, but a technique that allows you to use a flying sword for transport. Yujiaxue told Tian that what he said was absolutely correct, and he saw something similar in the library of Swantian Academy, and knew its technique. Bai Shuang was very serious and wanted to show what she was capable of, and she knew that legends were made about her, and she would not let her students down. Tishankao Juduan said that at such a moment he could not see Bai Shuang's body in any way, and people told him that it was so shameless. Bai Shuang said that 1,000 swords are rising, and this technique will allow her to save a lot of time and not waste her energy on these fighters. Bai Shuang said that death to all the living, and threw swords in all directions, and the fighters did not know where to hide, and they were all trapped. All the fighters were defeated and lay on the ground and no longer wanted to fight with Bai Shuang. And now they remembered this lesson for the rest of their lives. Murang Chan said that it's not for nothing that Bai Shuang is called a great warrior, and with one blow she defeated all opponents, and where did she get so much strength from? Woo Lingan told Mu that at the stage of spirit formation, Bai Shuang is already so strong and he wants to quickly master spiritual energy. Tushin Xiaoyu said that Bai Shuang has talent, but she is still not at the level of brother Woo Lingan, and soon he will prove to everyone that he is the best. Tashankao Juduan froze in place at this time and realized that he should not have stood so close to the arena, and he could not understand the reason. Tashankao Juduan asked people why Bai Shuang's attack there hit him, and people said maybe she did it on purpose. At this time, the girl looked at Bai Shuang's skills and was surprised and realized that at first people didn't even understand who they decided to attack. The girl said that Lady Bai Shuang became even stronger, and none of all the fighters could even come close to her, and she is the best. Teacher Mei Yanli told the students that the winner in this round was Bai Shuang, and she showed a master class and amazed many teachers. Bai Shuang realized that she had become even closer to the duel with Woo Lingan, and she had not forgotten anything and would take revenge on the impudent man for all his actions soon. Bai Shuang pointed her finger at Woo Lingan and said that now it was her turn to settle old scores, and she had been waiting for a long time for their duel and their test. Woo Lingan told Xiao Bai Shuang that she had just finished the fight and would like to rest because she had spent a lot of energy on her strikes. But Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan that this was not necessary and she did not want to rest. And the main thing was that he himself was in optimal shape. Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan that she spent very little energy on all these students and therefore can continue to fight in the arena. The rector of Zhuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, told Huang Luhong that these two are probably the strongest students in this set and a fight awaits them. Teacher Huang Luhong sent his robots to clear their arena, and then they can start the fight between Bai Shuang and Woo Lingan, and that's cool. The robots flew towards all the defeated fighters and carried out the command of Huang Luhong, and they will very soon clear the arena for battles. The robots began to take away all the losing fighters, and they said that they were hurt and should not let the robots pull their hair, and this made everyone nervous. Woo Lingan realized that he had no choice and he had to fight today with Bai Shuang, and she herself wanted the two of them to meet in the final. Woo Lingan told Bai Shuang that there is no need to be so angry with him, and he didn't do anything to her, and why does she want to destroy him in their fight? But Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan not to talk, and she will force him to use all his power so soon and show everyone that he is a demon, and this is a fact. Woo Lingan told Bai Shuang that she probably misunderstood him, and he doesn't even have spiritual energy. And how can he then be a demon? Woo Lingan told Bai Shuang that even if he is a demon, they have no reason to fight. But she asked the guy if he really thinks that there is no point. Bai Shuang told Woo Lingan that he doesn't even know what she had to go through, and she doesn't want to remember these stories, and this is darkness. Woo Lingan thought that it seemed that Bai Shuang was even more angry at his words, and she immediately began to use the sword control technique. Bai Shuang used a sword strike that pierced the sky and is sure that Woo Lingan is a little stronger than these students, but he is not her opponent. Woo Lingan immediately realized that the energy of Bai Shuang's attack was incredibly strong, and he couldn't take it head-on. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to defend against it. Woo Lingan knows that the technique will help him, and flew up and quickly managed to dodge Bai Shuang's attack, and she could not hurt him there. Woo Lingan must be very careful not to make a mistake, due to which he risks losing his health and becoming disabled. Bai Shuang's attack passed close to Woo Lingan's face, and he was glad that he was nimble and fast and was able to move away a moment before the attack hit him. Yu Jiaxue asked if Woo Lingan really took off using only the strength of his legs, and Tian said that it's not for nothing that this is brother Woo Lingan and he amazes everyone. Woo Lingan was pleased that he finally managed to avoid the attack, and he knows that with such an attack Bai Shuang dealt with many enemies. Bai Shuang found herself behind Woo Lingan and said that they would see how he would dodge in the air, and she would appreciate his skills, and this was intrigue. Bai Shuang used a sword control technique, and she knows that Woo Lingan is not yet at the level to defend against a blow in the air. Bai Shuang sent a sky-splitting blow towards Woo Lingan, and she hates demons and doesn't know why he's hiding in the academy. The blow reached the target, and Woo Lingan could not move anywhere, and this entire area was destroyed, and the students were glad that they were not fighting. Bai Shuang thought that with any demon there would be the same outcome, and they would not be able to defend themselves from her attacks, and she would destroy them all, and this is all true. Teacher Huang Luhong asked the rector of Tianxing whether it is too dangerous to fight like this, and the students could get seriously injured. But the rector of Zhuantian Academy, Yu Tianxing, smiled and told Huang Luhong that this is what makes their test for beginners interesting. But suddenly at that very second, all the people were in shock because they noticed that Woo Lingan was not injured and was just lying on the ground. And this is fantastic. Bai Shuang was also perplexed because it was a powerful blow and how Woo Lingan was able to defend himself from her attack. And the guy always surprises her. Woo Lingan caught the sword with his bare hands and continued to hold it. and he thought that it was in vain that people doubted his skills because he was also cool. Murang Chan was alarmed and asked Tushan Xiaoyu how their brother Woo Lingan caught such a huge sword and it's so hard. Tushan Xiaoyu told Murang Chan that brother Woo Lingan's strength is already beyond imagination, and she didn't believe her words before. Bai Shuang was angry, and she told Woo Lingan that he is a damn demon, and even such an attack did not force him to reveal his techniques, and he is cunning. Bai Shuang continued to put pressure on Woo Lingan and thought that she would force him to use demon techniques, and she was not lying to them. Bai Shuang believes that the technique of destroying evil will help her, and she immediately threw a lot of swords at Woo Lingan and is sure that one will already reach. But Woo Lingan blew into the air, and he knows rare techniques and sister Bai Shuang will not be able to defeat him even with all her desire, and gives a guarantee. Bai Shuang doesn't know what kind of technique Woo Lingan uses and how he wants to defend himself from her swords, and it seems that this is definitely not the limit of his skills. Woo Lingan, with the help of a series of techniques with his bare hands, was able to catch all of Bai Shuang's swords, and thought that she was persistent and attacked all the time. Bai Shuang was perplexed and asked how Woo Lingan could block everything like that, and she could not land a single blow on the Wu monster. The vile teacher of Xuantian Academy thought about why it all seems so familiar to him, and he must remember where he saw it. Woo Lingan collected all of Bai Shuang's swords into one single ball, and thought that he was proud that his sister was striving for the goal and wanted to defeat him there. Woo Lingan told Bai Shuang that she is not his opponent, and she still won't be able to defeat him, and it's better for her to give up because why lose strength there? Woo Lingan threw his swords towards Bai Shuang, and she realized that her attacks were useless against the monster, and he would be able to repel her any technique. Bai Shuang said that she would never surrender to the demon, and would be very eager to complete the matter, and the monster would regret everything soon. 10 years ago in Yujin Peak, Bai Shuang called her mother and said that she wanted to tell her important information, and she would be surprised by her. Bai Shuang was 5 years old at the time, and she told her mother that she felt spiritual energy, and this was an unforgettable feeling, and her mother would be happy.